Welcome to it, sports fans. The MKT Show. We have returned. I've defeated COVID, and it feels bloody good. It feels real good to be alive. I've got so many things that I just realized I still have to do before COVID gets me. Maybe it'll get me the second time. You know what I mean? Is you got to sort of keep your head on a swivel with these sort of pandemic vibes. Very good to be back in the studio, and not dead. Great feeling. Great feeling. Hey, Euros, not as bad as I thought, by the way. I thought international football, I said before, it was like kissing your sister. I was wrong. Maybe a little harsh. I was a little emotional. I got to pull it back a little bit, but COVID changed everything. You know, once you've had COVID, I had a phone call with one of my bosses this morning, and he told me, apparently for 6 months, you're kind of in the wooey zone. So for 6 months, I'm going to be telling people, you know, I've had COVID, my life's stressful. By the way, not stressful at all. I had incredible medical care, and I am fine. To everybody who's complaining and lives in a nice apartment, stop whinging. Your life's fine. My life's fine. It is great to be back in the mix. Joined by two young men. One didn't have COVID. He made up a fact that he's asymptomatic, which is a very weird thing to say. He was completely fine the whole time. At no stage did he have any danger. He had people bringing him shopping, just inconveniencing the entire world because he didn't have COVID and was absolutely fine in a beautiful apartment in a rather slummy part of town, but a beautiful apartment nonetheless. The one, the only. Hair game not so great today. Looking a little flat. The beard is fierce again. Ladies and gentlemen, James Jimbo Illingsley.
Hi.
Jimbo, what's happening?
How you doing?
Good to see you, pal.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you feeling considering you've been fine this whole time anyway?
I'm chilling.
Yeah?
Living my best life. Also, I never said I was asymptomatic. That was never a thing.
Real thing. By the way, go back to, I think it was Thursday's show. James says, I might be asymptomatic. I had to point out to him, you're not anything. You don't have COVID.
Hey, you don't know if I was asymptomatic or not. I don't know if I was asymptomatic or not. The point is, we don't know. I was taking precautions because I'm smart about it.
So about what? About being fine. The fact that you were fine the whole time and you looked great the whole week. Sound great. You are fine. You don't have to make up symptoms. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. James, you look better than ever. I thought we left here and I thought, James, handsome bloke. You know, like I'm sort of aggressively heterosexual, but James, handsome guy. I'm secure in my own sort of heterosexual. You look more handsome now. So you look like you couldn't be better, but you got some problems in your life.
It's the lack of smoking and the working out.
Let's go, Jimbo. Let's start there, pal. You had a little bit of a wobbly on Thursday, I think it was, with the whole smoking thing. Yeah. For those who don't know, James Jimbo Illingsley quitting smoking according to his words. We all know in life, though, most people, most of all of us, there's a reason why there's the 1% in life, right? Is what they tend to do is what they say is what they do about 90% of the time. That's how you get into the 1% of any industry in life, and how you're a better husband, mother, whatever, is what you say and what you do correlate. Now, James is going through sort of being... James, I don't think you're the worst part of society. You're somewhere in the middle, I would say, hey? What he said and what he's doing, they took a little divergence around Thursday where he said, I've quit smoking about a week before. And then he had 3 cigarettes. So interesting developments there. Your thoughts there, James, and how are you feeling about that?
So, I have invested myself into something that I believe is actually truly working because I do feel it. I was desperate because of this whole quitting smoking thing. And like I said to you, had cravings, smoked.
When did you smoke? When did you have the breakdown? Thursday, huh? Friday.
Was it Thursday?
Okay, but it was late in the week. Thursday or Friday, after having quit on Monday, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was 3 days of quitting,
So I was lying on the couch on one of the nights this weekend, and I think it was Friday night. And I was like, I Googled tips on how to quit smoking easier, right? And it came up with all of these blogs and blah, blah, blah. And I know how you're going to feel about this, but believe me,
Open your heart to us, James.
Believe me, this actually works.
Okay.
So I was going through these blog posts and whatever, and then I went back to the homepage, and then there was an advert for an app called Quitshaw.
Mhm.
I downloaded it, read the whole introduction thing, and the method to quit smoking on this whole app thing is not by managing cravings or like going cold turkey or anything.
Mhm.
It's about a psychological mental switch in your brain
Okay.
that has to do with dopamine. Because when you smoke, it releases dopamine in your brain, and then your brain thinks this is good for us. So, and that's essentially how this app works. And it's a 6-day thing. And throughout the whole thing, you're not supposed to change your smoking schedule or your smoking routine at all. You're not supposed to cut down. You're supposed to stay on the same smoking schedule.
Okay.
And then on the 6th day, there's like apparently a mini ceremony thingy for you to have your last cigarette. And I've been reading a lot into this whole method and this app itself.
Okay.
And it actually works. Like, I know how you probably
So
feel.
wait, did you smoke now? Was this a long-winded way of you just bought 18 packs of cigarettes and just puffed the whole weekend away?
No, so I am actually for this 6-day period. I started I'm on day
6 days ago, yeah.
I'm on day 3 today.
Okay.
So that would mean Saturday.
Whenever, 3 days ago. Okay. So
Yeah.
now you are smoking.
No, not full time.
What do you mean no? So yes, you are smoking, but not full time.
Yes, so I'm not smoking regularly.
Okay.
And I've been reading all of these comments about these people that have done this whole thing.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah, I felt a transition on day 3 or day 4. There's a mental shift. And this morning when I woke up, I'm not lying to you. Like, it's there. It works, dude.
Yeah. Listen, personally, now, James, I know you think I'm an idiot, right? And
No.
I totally respect that. No, I respect it. I think we have a good understanding. But I did do 2 years of genetics on top of having done a chemistry degree. So just so you know, everything's mental, by the way. Everything in life. And I literally mean that as in everything happens in the central nervous system. Everything in life is about creating or destroying neurons. That is all it's about. People are going to get into, life's 80% mental, 20% physical nonsense. They have no scientific understanding. So, and listen, I did neuroscience as a part of genetics, but everything is in the central nervous system. So I respect what you're saying is you got to reprogram, and it's I always say this to people. So I drank from around 19 till 27. I understand what it's like to undo bad habits. I always say, however long you've done a bad habit for, times the time by 10 to actually know you've quit, right? I don't mean like, because people think, I stopped drinking for 3 weeks, I've stopped. No, because we are all so vulnerable all of the time. Like, stress will come all the time. You'll fight with your mom, you'll fight with your girlfriend. Stress just comes in life, right? Life is stressful.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. No one's life is harder than anyone else's. Like from the middle class upwards. If you got food in a house, everyone's life is challenging. And there are those dark moments for all of us. We all have vices. So I respect it, dude. You got to go through your own thing, but so you're still keen to stop smoking, though, is what you're saying?
Yeah, and it's really weird because, like, I don't have any sort of urges to smoke that much anymore.
Yeah.
But, like, I know that I have to if I want this psychological thing to reset itself properly.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. Like, it educates you about how cigarettes have the same effect on your brain as eating food in the sense of releasing dopamine and making you feel good and all of that stuff. And like, as much as this morning I woke up and didn't want to smoke, I was like, I kind of have to. Like, I'm not giving myself an excuse to smoke and like prolong it, but I want to make sure that I do this right so that I can stop smoking on Friday.
Hey, vices are a mother, dude. Like, I'm not gonna, I am a rigid person, and we all have vices, and it's hard. It's hard. I'm not gonna, I think what I like about it is that you've got the intention, right? It's tough to have goals in life because, again, it's very easy to say things.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna start walking tomorrow. Everyone's gonna start the gym tomorrow, right? And the easy part is having a plan, right? In any part of life, relationship, business, whatever, good and bad, it's so easy to have a plan. It is so easy. Sticking to the plan, which is why I say in life, how many times have I said this to you? 95% of the world is a waste of your time. 95% of people you'll ever meet are going to be a waste of the time. You know why? Because they don't stick to what they say. 5% of the world are successful, right? For a reason. And I don't just mean financially, I mean in relationships as fathers and mothers. Because they stick to what they say. That's the hard part of anything. And I think you're starting to see it probably with the roking, hey? Shout out, James. Listen, bro, you got the right intent. I'm obsessed with health and wellness across the board, holistically. And let's see how it goes. To James's left, a man who, I don't know if he smokes or not.
Nope.
He does have the dreads. So, Rastafarians, of course, everybody thinks as soon as you have dreads, you smoke the devil's lettuce. So possibly not. I mean, I don't watch him 24/7, 24 hours a day. The one, the only. Looks like Alex Iwobi. It is not. It is actually Karabo K-Dog. What's happening, Karabo?
Not much.
How you been,
much.
pal?
I've been surviving, I guess.
Did you have COVID like me?
No.
Not?
No.
So you're fine. Really?
Yeah.
You're fine, huh?
Yeah. Come.
Progress, huh? Look at us.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. If you haven't had COVID, so this is my new thing. I've had COVID. You know how people love to, I'm the bigger victim. You know how you ever, especially we all went to yuppie schools, right? And it's programmed into yuppie children. They're always the bigger victim. Like my mom, no, my dad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially in the victim mentality, because there's no more disgusting victims than people with money. Like, their life's always just impossible. It's just, I don't know how I do it sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Do you know the type of stuff I'm saying? So your life, hard but fine, Karabo, really is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say it's hard, but I'm getting through, I suppose. So far, so good.
Some interesting developments. Not sure if you're aware.
Go on.
MKT got Netflix.
Oh,
no,
yes.
I was there for that. I suggested Uncut Gems, remember?
Oh, yes, you did.
Still didn't get there. Speaking of
What a
which, let's get into this.
Biggest plot twist. Shyamalan. Get my line.
By the way, I read some reviews. Terrible.
Yeah, same.
Everyone's saying put that thing in the toilet.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. I don't care. I've got other stuff to get onto.
He's got a new film coming out in a few months, I believe.
We'll
I might go see that. I won't pay for it because
thoughts and prayers. All the best.
Shyamalan,
M. Night Shyamalan after you ruined. What's
I'm
that
not
film?
paying for that movie.
The shape-shifting guy, little
Wow.
baby thing that
No.
people have to protect.
Wow.
Airbender, Last Airbender.
There we go.
Remember, he ruined that whole thing.
He's got a catalogue of
and
terrible films.
He
Whatever.
can see dead people. Haley Joel Osment is a healthy lad now, James.
No, he's not.
No, he's
Didn't he balloon?
chunky lad. That's what I'm saying. Healthy
right.
by that sense. He's
Yeah.
a considerable figure.
He did balloon.
Yeah. Anyway, M. Night Shyamalan, you died to me. But listen, great resume. He's done well in Hollywood. Shout out to him being successful. Bigger problems in my life. I got to tell you before we get into the what is a sports show. So I get Amazon Prime yesterday.
Not recommended.
I'm thinking to myself, Alex Ferguson, a man who has brought pain into my life, but I always follow successful people. And if you haven't seen it, the documentary, just the little trailer is mental. It is next level. So I thought, okay, let me save it. I want to watch it on the weekend. We'll chat about it on Monday. I buy Amazon Prime. All right.
They did you dirty.
It's not available in South Africa.
Yep. They did you dirty.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, Africa is the second biggest consumer
Thank you.
of the English Premier League on planet Earth. Africa, the continent. Why is it not available? And then I thought to myself, my life's over, and ultimately nothing matters. I went into a spiral for about 10 to 15 minutes. and it made me sick. So Amazon Prime got $6 of my dollars, and I will be canceling that.
I had Amazon Prime, and then
Likewise.
I also cancelled it. I think a month or 2 ago, because I just don't use it. Like there's not a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
The Grand Tour's good. The Manchester City, the Tottenham documentary's good.
No, it's not.
Outside of that, I just
Yeah,
wanted to save money,
and I like Bezos. He's one of my favorite humans to ever live. But I'm just wondering, Jeff, who's on the research team? Manchester United probably has more fans in Africa than anywhere else on the planet.
Yes.
It makes no sense to me. But anyway, okay, this is what it is. Why do people need Amazon Prime and Netflix? Like, I was just looking through both catalogs. I think it's impossible. Now, if I watched a series per night, an episode per night for the rest of my life, I wouldn't get through just Netflix's catalog. Just Netflix's catalog. And I understand after doing some research is that obviously with geolocation is they restrict what's on your, so South Africa's Netflix is not the same. And I didn't know this because I just got into this world.
VPN.
I mean, I've got a VPN actually, but I want to kind of do it properly. And
I get you.
You know, I work in the business now. I don't want to be a hypocrite in life. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I work in the business. It is my responsibility to pay for things and do it properly. But I thought, this is mental. But again, Karabo, you don't have Amazon Prime.
Not anymore, no.
So you just have Netflix.
I have Netflix and what, just for films?
Or whatever. Just what are you paying for? Are you subscribing to?
Netflix, Mubi is the new streaming service I tried. And I'm
Mubi.
MUBI. Loving it. Absolutely loving it.
What does it cost?
I'm not sure. I'm still on my free trial. But I will be paying for that.
Okay.
Not a doubt. It's like the Odd House streaming service.
Mubi.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of French new wave stuff. I'm catching up on film history, the stuff Netflix doesn't want, basically.
Yeah. You got to be. What did you call yourself? A hipster for that.
Okay.
So it sounds a little quite hipster.
It's just
It's like
not really.
It's like the CrossFit of streaming services.
Just I don't know. It's just the streaming service for cinephiles, I guess.
Sounds super film schooly.
Yeah, it sounds like he's probably. And Karabo, you say you don't smoke.
No.
But I bet you
Not
fill the
cigarettes.
room with smoke. Yeah, not cigarettes. He said.
Yeah.
I bet you fill the room with incense and smoke. Just on.
I am an incense guy.
Yeah, you know what? I can hear.
He lights a candle and lights the incense.
But you know how on indie films, generally one of the kind of running themes is like a smoky scene.
That's
Like,
film
I can imagine
noir. That's
Karabo
film noir.
just
That's film
sitting
noir.
there with like a cigarette that's too long, which isn't actually a cigarette. He's going for the full effect. You know what I mean?
That's film noir, not indie filmmaking.
Are you wearing you know, like how the French lady would be wearing a silky number, just sitting there in a dark room?
Yes, I'm sitting there in a red robe,
And then you're
a
sitting
red
there.
silk robe.
You're sitting there with the extra long cigarette.
Yeah,
Yes.
And you're just blowing like smoke rings
that's
Yes.
it.
on a beanbag chair.
With too much makeup on.
On a beanbag chair.
All right,
Because the beanbag chair obviously represents
instability.
the instability
Stop
of.
it. Oh, stop it.
Yes.
And then the cigarette represents the fickleness of life.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you got to say the cigarette also, yes, good point. But it also, I don't know if you know this, but back in the day, the advertisers used to say the cigarette would represent a penis. It was psychologically it represented, and it was actually a symbol of power. You know, that's how they forced women to kind of smoke. There was this kind of psychology. So it's also a symbol. Yeah, no, hey, listen, you think toxic masculinity is now? You've got no idea.
No.
Go and look at 1950s advertising.
Yeah, I know. I've done some looking into it. It's bad. I just haven't heard of that before.
Oh yeah, the real thing. So I can imagine Karabo feeling powerful smoking in the smoky room and in his lacy number. But anyway, my point was this.
OnlyFans coming soon.
Yeah, hey, shut up.
Oh no.
Why? Are you saying Karabo wouldn't look good in OnlyFans?
No, I just got
James,
a lot of horrible images in my head.
Why? What are you saying? Karabo you don't fancy the idea of Karabo naked?
I'm a
Or
visual.
partly naked, not fully.
I'm a visual dude. So when somebody says something, a lot of the time it's a mental image.
So that's what I'm saying. Is you saying Karabo wouldn't look good half naked?
Well,
why? Wow.
Not in
That's
my
a bit of a
eyes.
shot there,
I
Karabo. I'm
wouldn't
sorry
exactly
about
be
Well, you're not into Karabo.
exactly.
You
What's
don't
the
know
story?
that. You don't know that.
No. What's the story? Yeah, I thought you were open-minded, James. I thought you were a new age kid.
I don't know where we're going. With this.
All right,
I just
listen.
don't have a lot to say right now.
Okay, James, a little insecure with his masculinity. That's okay, James. My point was, how do grown adults have time to watch Netflix and Mubi, did you say?
Yeah.
Your one, and watch,
Disney Plus.
you know what I mean?
And,
Like,
yeah.
Well-
just have Netflix.
I disagree. I feel like Netflix is big, but it's so big because, well, it's got a bit of something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're one of those people whose tastes aren't necessarily catered well for, like I'm a big horror fan, Netflix is the worst streaming service possible with horror films.
Okay.
So for that reason alone, I would have to get a different subscription. So I feel like it's very case by case. If you want to catch up on blockbusters, sure, Netflix is great for you. But I don't know if you want to watch international films, horror films, indies, whatever your taste is. It's very case by case.
Well, for me, I mean, I work between 12 and 15 hours a day, which is what most working people do. Like actually working. I don't
Yeah.
mean people messing around. A lot of people are at work, but they're doing sweet blow. Or I don't know how people have time. Like, where do you find 2 hours a day? But anyway, each their own. Maybe people are just better with their time than I am. I also have to be open to that. Maybe I need to get better at making time to watch New Girl or whatever people watch. Terrible show. Terrible. The worst show of all time is How I Met Your Mother. The second biggest one is Big Bang Theory. And then the third one is that. Do you know what? A friend of mine once tried to force me to like get into New Girl. Right? I wanted to murder myself on the spot. Like about 15 minutes in with the like cheesy sitcom bromance. It is so revolting, right? So revolting. And then I thought to myself, oh, are you just trying to be cool? Like, you know, sometimes if something's mainstream, people are like, nah. Even if it is good, people are like, nah.
Yeah, hipster points.
Yeah. Like, I was watching this and I thought, who's this for? Like, who are the people, man and woman, enjoying this? Who are the people on this planet enjoying this? Glee, I understand who that's for.
Yeah.
As terrible as Big Bang Theory is, right? I understand who that's for. 2.5 Men, terrible after Charlie Sheen left. Terrible to begin with. Charlie Sheen just gave it something. But I understand who that's for. Who's watching New Girl and enjoying it?
So, with New Girl and How I Met Your Mother,
You can kill the music there, James. I really want to get into this.
So, with New Girl and How I Met Your Mother, okay, I don't advocate for New Girl. Watched half of like one episode, wasn't really into it. How I Met Your Mother, on the other hand, watched season 1 to 5 about 721 times.
Okay.
Right. So, I think the thing that's appealing about New Girl and How I Met Your Mother is it's almost a slice of life, kind of.
Uh-huh.
And that becomes kind of relatable because everyone, like How I Met Your Mother, for example, about 95% of everyone has had like relationship issues or, you know, that kind of vibe. And like Ted, the main character in How I Met Your Mother, struggles to sort of make up his mind with certain decisions that he has to make for relationships.
Okay.
And that's relatable to people. A group of friends that spend a lot of their time in a bar just talking rubbish is relatable. New Girl, I don't even know what the show's about. I know they're in New York, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
That's about it. But yeah, I just think it's super relatable. I think 2.5 Men's not that's more for like a specific group of people because that's not massively relatable or slice of life.
Yeah.
Like how many people grow up with their dad and their uncle, the wife's divorced, the uncle
More and more.
is,
Yeah.
60% divorce rate. More and more.
maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, no, but I do see what you're saying. And you know what? I think you're making a good point. Fair enough. I'm not big on lots of friends. Let's hang out. Because I'm like, I want to hang around quality people, not everyone. And quite frankly, even people I know, there's 1% of the people I want to hang out with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay. So I can't relate on that point. The relationship issues, okay, we've all, that's fair. That's fair. The whole world doesn't see the world through my lens, and I don't have to like it. It's not for me. Karabo, for you or not? Are you not into How I Met Your Mother and all that? I can't imagine. That's not very hipster.
No.
Right? It's a bit mainstream.
Well, I don't know. I used to like it when I was like 14, 15.
And
And
then
like,
you grew up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but it's I don't know what happened. One day, I just woke up and I was like, if I hear one more laugh track in my lifetime, I'm going to kill somebody.
Yeah, really interesting studies on laugh tracks. But anyway, that's a conversation for another
Yeah, no,
time.
no. Like I loathe laugh tracks. You're telling me when to laugh?
Yeah.
Really? I'm just like, okay, your writing can't hold itself.
What they're doing there, you can go and read the study. I'll see if I can find it. Is they actually are saying, come home, don't think, we'll laugh for you. There's some really, really interesting psychological papers. And yeah, I'll see if I can find it and I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll post
Please
it
do.
up. It's a really, really interesting thing. Laugh tracks, sure. It's an American thing, huh?
Yeah.
That's why I like British humor. So,
I mean, yeah, speaking about that, I believe laugh tracks only ended because of, well, The Office. So speaking of UK humor, I think if it wasn't for The Office,
Did
we
The
would
Office-
still be in there.
Did The Office UK have laugh tracks or not?
No. Have you seen UK
no.
sitcoms? UK sitcoms never have
Yeah.
laugh tracks, which
No.
is why I think I've always found them funnier.
Yeah.
There's a couple
80s,
of
90s.
classic ones. That
Yeah,
do.
80s, 90s, and the Brits, they did, and then they cut it
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, different consumer markets,
Yeah.
slapstick in America versus wit in Britain. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
if you watch the two shows, very different senses of humor. Like you said, it's night and day after
Yeah.
season one.
It really is night.
Yeah.
But okay, so James, I hear you. I think you've made a good point. You haven't swung me. I still believe those are because it looked like you were having a bit of a cardiac arrest there when I said, which one offended you? How I Met Your Mother?
How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, so-
because it is.
Is that your show? Is
yeah,
Barney your guy?
No, a lot of my friends say I'm Ted. But I
I
just
can see that.
love the show
Likewise,
so much. Dude.
likewise.
I can see that. I can see that you a Ted thing. I can see it. You are a little bit aloof. You are constantly like a little bit like, what's going on? Is it like that? And the Ted character kind of has that. And I think where you're similar is you are an extremely ethical person. So when people don't do what they say, and I've realized this with you, is that does confuse you. I've seen that with you. Is you're just like, no, you should do the right thing. Why aren't you doing the right thing? And I've seen with the Ted characters, just like, you just presume everyone's good,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I've seen that with you. So, okay, James, shout out to your feelings. Speaking of cardiac arrest, shout out to Christian Eriksen
Oh my
for
goodness.
surviving on planet Earth. I mean,
What a segue. Oh, wow.
Christian Eriksen is the biggest legend on earth. He's gone and survived a heart attack. It's now come out. He essentially had a
Oh.
cardiac arrest. And shout out to him. We're talking about football heroes. Christian Eriksen. So few people survive heart attacks. Like that
Shout out
was
to that
mental.
medic crew.
Just
Yes.
everyone involved.
Actually.
You know what? All my friends, Garabo's uncle included here, always tell me I'm obsessed with the Scandinavians. And you saw an example of why. In life, and people have heard me say this before, I'm not interested in talent. I'm interested in discipline. And when you're disciplined, you're organized. We saw a life get saved purely because people were organized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it was. They are nothing special. They are medical experts. There's lots of medical experts in the world, right? They were organized, and that was incredible work to save. But ultimately, you know what? Everyone, I don't think anybody, unless you're a medical person, should have an opinion on it. All I'm saying is, Christian Eriksen, shout out to you. Like, I'm so tired. Like, Asmir Begovic came out immediately and said on social media, former goalkeeper, Chelsea, Fulham, and a few other clubs, and said,
I think Stoke also.
yeah, players, this wasn't the time for him to come out and say the health of players hasn't been thought about. Like, also, just have some self-awareness, dude. It's 1 in
Yeah.
50,000, and also have some self-awareness. You're a billionaire, basically, in some countries, a millionaire in Europe. For you to come out and say things like that, what does that look like to people that are losing loved ones everywhere in countries like Gambia? You know, like people are falling like that, and there's no one to grab a Christian Eriksen. It happens every day. Like Asmir Begovic, douchebag of the week award. Like, don't need you.
I think you're being a bit harsh.
No, douchebag. It's not. I hate people. I absolutely loathe what he did there. Here's my moment to virtue signal. No. It's about Christian Eriksen. The health thing, it's 1 in 50,000 players. I was reading the report, the Tottenham doctor was on Sky Sports, and he said the data says 1 in 50,000 players, they miss a diagnosis in football. That's what the numbers are. Like, that was terrible. It happens. But my God, a man just survived a heart attack. It's not about Asmir Bergovic. I might get a mini statue of Christian Eriksen, actually, after this.
I think that's the move.
Dude survived a heart attack, bro. I mean, his career's over, surely.
Maybe not, because Daley Blind, if I'm not mistaken, also had an incident on the field similarly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Daley Blind still plays football.
He had a heart... no, it was slightly different, as in his heart didn't stop. He had...
arrhythmia.
I wish I was a doctor.
It was arrhythmia, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it wasn't a heart attack. He didn't have a cardiac arrest. It was.
It's where your heart beats irregularly.
Yeah, but there was. I forget what the dying. Anyway, it wasn't a heart attack, so slightly different. All it was. But yeah, Eriksen had his heart stopped for 2 minutes or something.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, the reports are varying. Yeah,
Wow.
that is wild. Christian Eriksen. What do? Do I get a Denmark Eriksen shirt?
Also, can we just, shout out to those players, not just the Danish players, bro, but the Finnish players.
Everyone involved, take a bow. Especially, it's difficult for, I think both of you guys you've only ever lived in Africa.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Having lived around the world myself, is the sensitivity in Canada, Finland, Switzerland, and the UK to violence and death. They are so sensitive to it. In South Africa here, you hear someone got shot. Oh, where?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, what's on Netflix? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not sensitive to death. They are so, especially Scandinavia, because it never happens. They had old, the Norwegian bloke, and that was what, 50, 60 lives, which was obviously tragic, but he was a terrorist. We lose 50, 60 lives in Johannesburg daily.
In
at
the
least,
CBD, yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
So another thing which I thought was quite incredible is I know how sensitive Scandinavians are to anything going wrong. Because they live, people talk about living in a bubble in Sandton. Get yourself to Denmark, Copenhagen, or anywhere in Scandinavia, actually. I've never been to Norway, but Finland, they are in another next level bubble. Yeah. Copenhagen is the next level of comfort, by the way. It is the future. One of the most incredible places, cleanest places I've ever been to in my life. So incredible of them to respond in that way. In a moment, none of those guys may ever see a situation of that intensity and have to be reactive to it ever again.
Well, I mean, you've spent sort of a couple of years now with Eriksen or with this guy that's had this incident. Now you have to stand on the field and watch a paramedic perform CPR on him. Like, I think that's just the scariest thing.
I think for South Africans, like if it happened to one of us, we're pretty sheltered people. All three of us have grown up at the very lowest, I would say, middle class, right?
Yeah.
And mommy and daddy have always made food. There's always been food in the fridge. We're very, very comfortable. But I think our sensitivities as South Africans is if you had to save someone's life, it'd be hard, but it'd be like, oh, no, this is a part of our daily life.
Yeah.
Like I hear about dying people all the time. Danish people do not. Honestly, they hear about art and music and getting fit and living like that was. I imagine that will be framed as a national trauma for a while. What happened to Christian Eriksen? And wow, just everyone involved. Get those fake hands, not the 7-Up thing. You ever seen those? They're like on a selfie stick and there's a hand at the end. Pat yourself on the back with one of those. Everyone should get one, and they should pat themselves on the back because I thought. Everyone involved was just incredible in the whole situation. And man, Christian Eriksen. I'm going to have to get a Denmark shirt now, even though I support Finland.
You know what you should actually do? There's a website called... what's it called?
Pornhub.
Well, yeah, that exists too. But I think it's called like random football shirts or something. And you order and you pay an amount of money. You get sent like a random football shirt.
Oh, really?
And it could be like Oldham Athletic. It could be...
I don't mind that.
Dortmund.
I actually don't mind that. You know what I don't like? So I'm trying to get my hands on a shirt right now. If you remember about 5-6 years ago, a guy called Andre Pierre Gignac. I kind of like him. He's a little bit edgy. He's a little
Striker?
Yeah. Plays in Mexico now, right? His team, I forget who they are there at the World Championship, trying to get a hold of a non-English speaking website and people to get back to you because there's kind of a lot of fakes going around. I just want a Gignac shirt. Is that asking too much? I don't speak Spanish. What am I supposed to do? I'm trapped now. Don't worry, I've outsourced it.
Okay.
But now I've made it my Spanish friend's problem. Or in fact, a Mexican friend's problem. And now he has to, like you inconvenience your mate, James, remember? Now he has to go and get the shirt for me and send it to me. But I could just do it online. But no, they don't. So how about this? They don't have an English option. Do you know?
What do you mean?
So I went onto the club's website, convert to English, whatever, do the comms. Once you get to where I need to pay and I want to choose this player's name, like I can't see whether, and there's two different options. There's like a replica option or the real shirt, but it's all in Spanish. You can't translate from there. So yeah, these are my problems. And these are real problems, people.
I think other people are having more real problems.
I think they are. Christian Eriksen
Like
survived a heart attack. Yeah.
You know, sorry to jump back to it. When he was being stretchered off the field or whatever, he was being covered by the white cloth thing.
Yep.
It was actually the Finnish flag.
Oh, was it?
The supporters had given it to them, and they used the Finnish flag to cover him as they took him off the field.
Hey, death is a good thing to bring people together, dude. Like in that moment, like everyone's just like, nothing else matters. That guy needs to stay alive.
And then after they disappeared down the tunnel, the Finnish fans, so not even the Danish where Christian Eriksen's from, okay? Finnish fans started a chant thing where they yelled Christian.
I saw that on the socials.
Danish fans were like Eriksen, and then they went back and forth, which was quite cool.
Listen, an education, the great Aristotle said, an education in horror has a role to play in civilizing us. And you saw it there. You saw it come to life in that very moment where nothing else mattered. Like, that guy needs to stay alive. All of us are focused on that. And I think, I mean, I was on a chat group with you, James, and a few other friends. It was incredible. The sentiment was the same. This guy needs to live. Nobody cares about football right now.
Yeah.
That human being needs to live, and that's all we care about. And hey, shout out Christian Eriksen surviving that whole thing. Sure, crazy, cray, as the kids say.
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah, you know what? We are actually a sports show.
Yeah.
And having Netflix is the only way to go. You got to have Netflix. You got to make choices, dude. Unless you're loaded, you got to make choices. So I'm going with Netflix. James, your thoughts?
Netflix.
I'm going to stick with Netflix. Karabo, your thoughts on me just having Netflix because I'm not rich like you. I can't have every...
Netflix, yeah.
Netflix it is. All right. I mean, I've only watched one, the Ronnie Coleman documentary. I don't want to go on about it again.
But Netflix, just make sure to ask around. There's so much garbage.
Well, you know, that's life, though. 99% of life is garbage.
Fair enough.
And 99% of people are garbage. You must know this. Everyone needs to know this. And I'll keep saying it until Jesus makes his third appearance on planet Earth. You know what I'm saying?
Who's the 1%?
The people that aren't garbage. But it's hard to find 1%. It's hard to find ethical, driven people, kind people. Because that's who you want to find. Right? Those are special. Those are special. James, you got a beautiful girlfriend. Sounds like you found yourself one. Garabo, you'll get a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. I mean,
Girlfriend.
Oh, I just want to be open.
No, I'm straight.
For now?
Sure.
I just want to stay open because you and James, well, guys, it's Pride Month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, crying in a bucket. You maybe loosen up here, guys. Jeez.
I'm just laughing because I know when you...
What's that? James, finish that sentence before
you do a thing where you try and wind me or Karabo up, and I pick up on it so easily when you start doing it.
I'm not sure what you're talking
He
about.
gets like a certain look on his face, and it's the most obvious giveaway.
Obviously, I'm a better person than both of these guys because I think Pride Month is a great thing, and
It's true.
I'm open to people being, attracted to the same sex as them. But you guys aren't. But that's fine. Whatever. I don't want to go on about it. We got to get to a show. Give me some music, as I do every single Monday. Great weekend of sport. Karabo, great to have you here. By the way,
Thank you.
James, great to have you here. Your hair's looking terrible. I got to tell you, James. I want to be honest.
I did
It's
blow
looking-
dry it and
it's
give
terrible.
it a try this morning. It's too long. I think I need a haircut.
It looks terrible. Sort it out. You're a great guy. Sort that hair out. Karabo, your hair's on fleek. James, your hair normally great. Terrible.
Maybe I should rush off for a haircut after today's show.
Just sort it out. You know what I mean? Have some
should.
standards.
I'm going to do that.
Here's my thing. Is your mom and girlfriend are going to walk around in the Republic of South Africa today and people are going to ask them, is James your son or your boyfriend? And they're going to have to say yes. You ever thought about that? Looking like that with that hair.
Or they're going to have to say, yes, he's an exceptional human, isn't he?
Honestly, if I'm your girlfriend, anybody asks me today in the middle of Potentia, wherever she lives in the middle of nowhere, is James your boyfriend? Absolutely not. Absolutely not until he gets a haircut. But I would say no. I would deny you. So, James, sort that hair out. I mean, you got great locks, by the way. You and Andrei Shevchenko and Perlo, great hair. but sort it out. I mean, come on, pal. Come on. All right. Every Monday, we do where I was right, where I was wrong. By the way, we're gonna start off there, and then I'll tell you where things went wrong for Everton, and then England. My gosh, they won. But we'll talk about that game review. All right, MKT. Where MKT was right, where MKT was wrong. Let's get into it. Where I was right, the Brooklyn Nets are flakes, right? I told you, Kyrie Irving injured. James Harden didn't make it again. Postseason has been his Achilles heel throughout his career. The hamstring's back again. Listen, in sport, when you start a season, all right, and you are not fit, it's impossible to get fit in the season. He sulked his way out of his in Houston. And he arrived fat, quite frankly, let's say it. He arrived fat. And when you do that, it's impossible to get fit in the season, in any sport. And this is what happens. James Harden, the Nets, they're crumbling. And you can't base your team around KD because he's too flaky. He's not a leader. What he is he's a baller. He's the Paul Pogba of the NBA. He wants to play. He's actually come out and said himself before, I just want to ball, which is cool. Not everybody's LeBron James. Not everybody wants to carry the weight. I was dead right. Brooklyn Nets, ain't no way they are doing anything. Where I was wrong, Julio Jones. I thought Julio Jones would go to the New England Patriots. It was made for him. You know, Alabama guy. We've seen Belichick and the great Saint Nick Saban are thick as thieves. I thought, okay, it's perfect for him. Go there. He loves culture. Julio's unique. He's got the greatest receiving numbers in terms of average receiving numbers, receiving yards per game in the history of the NFL. But he is dead quiet. Because wide receivers are divas. There's literally a term, diva receiver. Julio's unbelievable. He'll go down top 5 greatest receivers of all time. I thought it's made. They've just reloaded at the tight end position. They really need a wide out. They've just lost Edelman. I thought it was ready made. All the 49ers, Shanahan needs some help there, and his clock is ticking. Shanahan is ticking with the 49ers. I thought that's where he'd go. Julio Jones ends up with the Titans. There's an A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and then the big Derrick Henry. Of course, 2 Alabama boys in Henry and, of course, Julio Jones. That is going to be something because you're going to have to stack the box to stop Derrick Henry or double Julio Jones or double A.J. Brown, who's the next guy, by the way. Superb route runner, as the Americans call it, and phenomenal big body receiver with speed. Just, wow, what a triple threat. I was wrong. Julio Jones, good luck to the Titans, and Ryan Tannehill. Where I was right, Test cricket's broken. Listen, why are the Proteas playing the West Indies? Why? Why is that happening? Who is that for? It is not a product. It's embarrassing. It's lopsided. And again, Test cricket should be the elite. Reduce the amount of Test cricket. Just have South Africa, Australia, India, and England play one another. Don't give me New Zealand's one win and they're going to be in a ridiculous championship now in the final, right? It's got to be tiered. Have 4 teams in the top tier. They play each other more often. By the way, that means they're going to play each other probably twice every 3 years, the way it's going now anyway with T20 cricket. Why are the Proteas in the West Indies? It is not the job, right, of South African cricket to help the West Indies if they can't run their stuff. It's absolutely embarrassing. And I was right. Test cricket's broken. It is broken. Where I was wrong, the Sharks didn't make the jump that I thought they would. If you didn't see the Bulls-Sharks game this weekend, broken. The Bulls are bullies. They are a brutal team. The boys up north are not ready because they will be in the final with the Bulls. Sharks didn't make that jump. I was hoping they would. Sia Kolisi, maybe not the guy we thought he was, but we'll see. They're playing the Lions now. Something's missing at the Sharks. Something's missing. They're not nasty. All flash. And I've said it before, I don't like talent over character. They're missing something. You got to be nasty. In a warrior sport like rugby, you got to be nasty. Sharks didn't make the jump. I was dead wrong there. Where I was right, Rafa Nadal's done. It is not to say that Rafa is not top 3, top 20, probably in the end, greatest sportsman of all time. It's just that his style early on in his career was too demanding. His knees took such a battering. And the great, this word's overused, and it is apt with him. The great Rafa Nadal lost in 4 sets at Roland Garros. I don't care who he's playing. 4 sets? That doesn't happen. Not to him. But I said it about 2-3 years ago. He won't win another major. He just won't. And it's not because Rafa's not great. It's because greatness comes at a price. The sacrifice Uncle Tony put him through from 16 to 25, it's now it's taking its toll. The great Rafa Nadal beaten by the other great, Novak Djokovic, ultimately, who won it all. Where I was wrong, I thought Zverev was the next guy. I do like Zverev. He's got the all-round game, the athleticism. I think a little bit of big-time Charlie, though. Tsitsipas is the next guy. He's been tremendous now for the last 18 months. Unlucky to lose to, I mean, you know what? 5 sets, Novak Djokovic. Okay, you take that. I mean, what a comeback by Novak. But I was wrong. Zverev, not the next guy, Tsitsipas, the Greek god. So good luck to him. And tennis is in good hands. I love tennis. My father played a lot of tennis when I was younger, forced me to watch. I absolutely love it. So good to see that tennis is in great hands, certainly in the male game moving forward. Where I was right, Jack Grealish's image has hurt him. He's the best English player. You know, in terms of ability, and I try and tell young people this all the time, and it's tough because then I'm just an old person who thinks he's a know-it-all. When you get to the top, especially when you get to the corporate world, nobody cares about your talent. Your talent's not interesting. I know young people like to think I'm talented, so you should give me a chance. No. Can you work? By the way, can you stick to rules? That's all corporates are interested in. That is all corporates are interested in. Jack Grealish should be in the side. We all know that. He's the best player. It's clear. In terms of ability. But you do some stuff outside the field. Gareth Southgate doesn't care. The FA don't care. They're corporate. And I was right. I told you this in the middle of the season. I said it to James. I said his corporate image is going to hurt him. And I told you the FA and Gareth Southgate are squares. I was dead right there. Jack Grealish should be starting. It's absolutely ridiculous. Where I was wrong, Chris Paul should have been MVP. What they are doing there, by the way, they just swept the Nuggets. No big deal. The Suns weren't even in the playoffs last year. Problem with letting journalists vote, and I've told you this before, less people for important decisions. If a decision's not so important, right, have more people. It's why I think democracy is broken. Not everybody should get to vote. If you want to make a really important decision in your life, don't ask lots of people. Find the smartest people and ask very few people, and you'll get down to the bottom of it. Journalists vote. It becomes a popularity contest. Journalists want quotes from players, so they're going to vote for the most popular person. Absolutely a joke that Chris Paul didn't win it. My God. Suns, Phoenix Suns may do this thing. Chris Paul changed everything. Where I was right, teams become their manager. I've said this before. Teams become the personality of their leader. England are conservative. Gareth Southgate is a square. What England should be doing is be looking to win every single game 4-2. They have no defenders, they have a terrible goalkeeper, and they've got nobody in midfield. Mason Mount is the only player who would get into any team in the world in the midfield. And he doesn't really play in the midfield. Mason Mount is not, at a push, he's an 8. But what he really wants to do is be in the 10 pivot. He wants to either be in the 7, 11, or the 10, which is right wing, left wing, or in that pocket. He doesn't want to do what Declan Rice is being asked to do. He can, he's coachable. But you can't be putting a handbrake on Mason Mount and the whole team because you want to play Phillips and Declan Rice. Essentially, England played 6 at the back. 6! No, man. What it forced you to do was leave Sancho out. It forced you to leave Grealish out. It makes no sense. But when you calm down and you realize we are who we are. Gareth Southgate is a conservative square, and this is what you get. England are playing with a handbrake on, and he is now, what he's doing is he's babysitting the weakness instead of saying, what's our strength? Harry Kane, honestly, you'd be forgiven for thinking Harry Kane didn't play. He didn't get any service. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later, but I was right. England playing with a handbrake on. Finish off on this. Where I was wrong, international football. And I sent a few messages to James. I said it's coming home on the weekend. Just trying to pump myself up for international football. International football's not that bad. When you do it properly, like they've done, I was wrong. I got to say, I've been enjoying the Euros. My favorite game was last night. The Ukraine produced a performance. What I love, and I sent a message to somebody, I said, Ukraine play how South Africans wish South Africa would play, right? Is organized, ultimately, so well coached, and in any environment in life, you know, when you have strong leadership, you know what they allow you to do is to go and express yourself, because they create an environment where you've got something to fall back on. It's called structure. You call it formation in football. They're really organized so they can be brave on the ball. Andrei Shevchenko has clearly said to those lads, go and express yourself. Sport is meant to be a celebration, ultimately. Sports matches are meant to be a celebration. You saw the Ukraine represent their country incredibly well yesterday. They looked free and they looked like they weren't scared to make mistakes. The opposite of England. They were the opposite of England. In terms of ability, nowhere near. But when you set young alpha males free, that's what you get. They felt safe. They felt like Shevchenko would protect them. And he said, go and have a good time. And boy, oh boy, what a game. What a game. International football, alive and well. James, it's coming home.
It's really not.
It's not coming home.
It's not. Not even in our parallel universe. No.
It's not coming home. Karabo, you saying it's is it coming home?
Hell no.
What's the story?
Why? I don't know. That performance had the seasoning of Greek yogurt. I don't know.
A little sour, huh?
Yeah.
No good.
Look, I don't know. I don't know why. Do you genuinely believe it is, or is that you hyping yourself up?
Do you know what something you got to love the English for is they do create a vibe, you know?
They really do.
Like, they get it. Singing, chanting. It's like a big part of it. You got to remember, or for me, football's like a philosophical thing, right? We all want to gather. Why do churches continue to churn out the numbers they do? Is there's something to, let's gather, let's sing together. That's why they sing in church. It's like you get into a trance. Chanting gets you into a trance. There are levels of trances. Do you know what I mean? So I think the English get that, and it's obviously tied to their war-ridden history. Why chanting and being together, but they get it, dude. Like, watching football is a part of community, and who doesn't want to belong to something?
Hey, look, maybe it is coming home.
It's not. Not, to be clear, it is not.
I read this weekend. England have never won an opening game at the Euros, and Croatia have never lost an opening game at the Euros. That changed this weekend. Maybe it's coming home because the English are creating vibes.
Who knows? Dude, he's got to play Grealish.
At some point.
Doesn't make sense. Why did Rashford come on? Rashford's had
I
a
have
horrible
season. No idea. Because he fed some kids.
He does feed, yeah.
He fed the kids.
That's important.
He fed the kids.
You do have to feed.
Rashford was trending on Twitter after he was subbed on.
Yeah?
Everyone was like, just wants to play for his country and feed some kids.
Yeah.
Everyone was going on about the kids.
the MBE vibes.
Yeah.
No, shout out to... Listen, he's clearly a great person. Like, I think we're all clear on that, right? Nobody thinks Marcus Rashford... Because he doesn't have to do what he's doing. Mm-hmm. As a footballer, he could just be all sort of vibes.
Yeah.
But Marcus Rashford is on the brink, I think, of greatness as a human being. What's that going to do for me in my 4-4-2? Is there humanist in football formations now? What are we doing with Rashford?
Well, I mean, the one guy did say, and this was my personal favorite that I saw, was there goes my president, or something like that. So we are humanists.
Fair enough. Marcus Rashford. Weird. That was weird, dude. It's weird that he wouldn't put Grealish on. Like, Grealish is clearly the best player. You don't have to like him. Like, he's the one guy who can light it up. Everyone else is a bit of a square.
Yeah.
Like, I know why he likes Mount. Mason Mount is Gareth Southgate as a footballer. Gareth Southgate as a person is Mason Mount.
Phil Foden can be less of a square sometimes.
But what's he doing there ahead of Sancho? What are we doing?
He can.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I think he is
so puzzling.
More of a square than Sancho is.
Who's that?
Foden.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think Foden is still, he can be creative, and he stretches himself pretty far. 1 minute he's right wing, next minute he's center left back, and like that man is all over the field. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think the most creative that Gareth Southgate has actually selected for this tournament are on the bench.
It's weird, dude. Sancho wasn't even on the bench.
Yeah.
No chill. Anyway, we'll get into it. We'll circle back to this one. We'll finish off on England. I just thought weird performance, dude. Weird.
Yeah.
Just everything about it was weird. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll come back to that. Karabo, you seen Ronnie Coleman? We can kill that music, James. You seen Ronnie Coleman's documentary?
No.
Oh, I watched it again. So good.
Oh my goodness.
So good, dude. Ronnie Coleman,
I was trying to
Mr. Olympia.
figure out how to quit smoking while you were watching Ronnie Coleman for the 8th time.
Well,
Instead of watching Uncut Gems, you pagan.
here's the thing. I never started smoking, so I don't have your problems. Do you know what I mean? Is if you didn't smoke, imagine the amount of documentaries you could have watched this weekend. Nope. Too busy puffing away, James. This is what happens. So I didn't smoke, so I could do what I like this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like where we are now.
Oh, well, don't open the door then. You open the door there.
That's one of the analogies they use.
Opening the door?
In the program.
Oh, let's hear it. Take me into
Oh
it.
my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
All right, we're quitting smoking with James. It's informational hour. Now. Yeah, James. Quitting smoking
That's
with
so
James.
weird. So it's about how you know smoking is bad.
Are you aware that you sound like you're joining a cult, by the way? I want you to know that
Yeah.
everything you've
Yeah.
said.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, cool.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's fine.
Very well aware.
All right. And to be clear, the management on this show does not condone cults. All right, Jimbo, go ahead. Opening the door.
I'm very well aware of what this sounds like. Okay. But so I was reading the thing and it says, we all know smoking's bad, which we do. But some of us still do it anyway.
Sure.
Right. It's like picturing a door. And you've been told that there's a monster behind the door, but you don't know that there's a monster until you open the door.
I got you. People want to see.
There you go.
My dad has a saying, and I carry it with me. It's why I can be unpleasant for 99.9% of society, revolting to women, as
Correct.
you said, James.
Absolutely. Big forehead.
And revolting.
Mhm.
Not so physically revolting because of a big forehead,
Yeah.
and as a person, everything I am is revolting. Is
And
what
you smell funny sometimes.
I mean, it's piling on here.
Look.
No wonder I'm single. But my dad has a saying to the sort of the antithesis of what you're saying. He says he's always said this to all of us. We are raised this way in my house. Only idiots learn from their own mistakes. So it's the opposite of what you're saying. Is you got to open. Is the monster there? Like somebody tells you that the monster's there.
Yeah.
From what your cult is saying is, when you open that door, only then are you going to believe that there's a monster.
Yeah.
My father says the opposite. I was raised was, if like James says, oh my God, I just came from behind the door. There's a monster. Oh, great. Thanks, James, for doing that. I'm walking away. I'm locking that door. I might have it reinforced.
You don't even invest in it to begin
Only
with.
idiots learn from their own mistakes. Take that with you in life. It's brutal. It is brutal, but it's becoming more and more true in my life. And do you know how long it saves you in life?
What, to not open random doors?
No, to not be an idiot.
Oh.
To not make mistakes. When James, if you've done something, right? Why do I need to see? Because it's ego, right? No, James made the mistake because he's James. If it's me, I would have finessed that situation differently. You know what I mean?
But it's also a little bit like human nature, though, because, parts of human nature are, like, some people are really, really curious. And I think it's human nature to be curious in a way.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think it's human nature not to be disciplined because
Yes.
we're extremely self-serving.
Yeah.
And discipline, we're in and again, the great Eliud Kipchoge, and I love this quote where he says, only the disciplined ones are free, right? If you are undisciplined, right, you are a slave to your moods and to your desires. And I think it's brutal because largely we're all raised to think we're special. You're not. But it's hard to hear that. It's because people want to believe they're special and they have something to contribute. Largely, you don't. Until you've contributed something, you don't. But it's hard to hear that. And that's why I think people are so inquisitive, because we believe, and we're all in the West raised this way. Anything's possible. It's why. It's the mentality starts from there. I'm very clear. Very few things are possible in my life. Very few things are possible. I was raised in that household. Get on with it. Here is what's possible. Go and do that. And don't be an idiot. Learn from other people's mistakes. And for all my 20s, I ignored that advice.
Didn't we all, huh?
Yeah.
Like, parents are so stupid. They don't know anything.
It's so true. So dumb.
Now they know more than you think, boy.
Yeah. James, did you see your girlfriend this weekend or not?
No.
I
But
was thinking about it.
She is currently at my house.
Oh, okay, so you are going to see her because you're absolutely fine.
Yes. So, she had to go to the office today, and then at lunchtime they can go home.
Okay, so she is going to hang out with her boyfriend who's been fine for 2 weeks, and they should be hanging out anyway.
Taking precautions.
Unbelievable.
Did you not get tested?
I did. But
Why-
I do enjoy taking precautions.
You hate your
Okay.
girlfriend? That's what I'm hearing. And she sounds like such an awesome person from everything you've said about her. I'm sorry. You don't tell us what her name is. I don't want people being annoying and stalking her. To James's lady, I'm so sorry that James hates you, and I don't know what you've done to deserve it. It's unbelievable. But shout out to you quitting smoking and learning to love your girlfriend again. You sound like you could be Scarlett Johansson. What's that movie? Traveling Pants thing?
What?
Is she in that, huh?
What are you on about?
You never seen Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
First time hearing about it.
Close-minded. So you don't believe people can be homosexual and you don't like Scarlett Johansson. That's unbelievable.
Wow.
You and James. But it's actually both of you. It's toxic.
We're just terrible people.
You're wrong on both of those.
Toxic.
Wow.
Toxic. Anyway, do you know what I mean, James? You do sound a little bit like... have you seen the movie?
No.
Okay, it's a little bit like the girls' movie you'd imagine. Like we're all friends and besties, and it's the most revolting of popular culture. Like I think America Ferrera, is that her name? She's in that. Scarlett Johansson. Who else is in it? But like, think of the vomity ones that they shove down our throats. Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson is not a bad actress. You need to stop it.
But she's the height of like corporate. Love her. She's everywhere. Love her. You know what I mean? When they do that.
Well, yeah.
She's
fair
the
enough.
image.
No,
listen, fair enough.
She is. If I could draw a person that I would want to have as a partner, physically speaking, she's the embodiment of that.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean I don't notice that they're shoving them like down my throat. You know what I mean?
She's
Anyway,
the image,
it's not the point. Scarlett Johansson, super happy for her. Great. She's won awards. Successful. I don't have a problem with people making money.
Go watch Marriage Story.
Marriage Story.
Yeah, she's in it.
Probably not then.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Then probably not again. After you recommended that terrible Adam Sandler thing, and I read some of the...
I'm not gonna lie.
Some of the reviews.
My brother came back to me and he was like, "Yeah, so I watched that Uncut Gems thing that Karel said we must watch."
Yeah.
And it was terrible. I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, that's intentional. Oh, no. Because the way they speak, right? Like I said, it's done documentary. Like, it's very, how do I say this? Abrasive, right? So it's...
So sandpaper doesn't mean I
no,
want
no. It's like, so in a movie, you have this normal movie mixing, If we're speaking in a crowd of people, you're not hearing the crowd. You're just hearing me. But Howard is a jeweler, right, in New York. So let's say there are 10 people in that shop. You're hearing like all 5 of those conversations simultaneously. Obviously, the one in focus on the camera will be the one mixed slightly above. But if you want to, you could follow the background conversations of any scene. And there are actual conversations going on. It's really interesting. I don't know what's going on with your brother. Maybe he's adopted.
It's not just him, though.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It's the whole of the internet saying... I literally couldn't find a good review.
I will send you one.
What?
I'll send you one because I know that's a lie.
So the fact that you have to go and find a good review...
No. I know you're lying. I just know that.
I have an idea.
Search it now.
All right.
I have an idea. I'm going to search for some reviews of Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
You guys take up time by not letting the air be dead.
It's terrible. Garabo,
Yeah.
I'm not going to search. So it's almost like finding your wife with another man and then finding all the reasons why you can justify her doing that.
Don't you scroll past those 2 top reviews. I saw that. Don't scroll past them.
I
Read them.
did because I wanted a real page of constant reviews, not just 2.
No.
We don't have time to read a full review.
I've done this. Not a single good review. Garabo, you're off to a bad start in recommending movies. What's the one you've recommended now? Scarlett Johansson?
Marriage Story.
Marriage Story.
Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver. Very good movie.
All right. There we go.
Sounds like Toy Story. The music sounds like Toy Story, and that it really bugs me. It's Randy Newman. God damn it.
Randy Newman. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird that he's still making jingles. Randy Newman must have made all the money in Hollywood. He's been making jingles since the 60s, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Great piano player, by the way.
Yeah, but all of his songs sound like Toy Story.
Yeah, they do sound, because it's like goofy. If you don't know who Randy Newman is, go and look him up. Very goofy, clunky, do-do-da-da kind of 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Jingly.
Swingy.
You think of classic American adverts in the 90s, that's Randy Newman. Like
where the ads are just, it's the America that was once great, apparently, Yeah. It will play in those commercials. Yeah.
All right, let's move on from terrible.
James, reviews
is terrible. We'll come back to the reviews.
Okay,
I mean,
sure.
I know they're terrible. Let's move on.
Sure they are.
I mean, this is 2.9 stars out of.
No,
No, you're on Google.
listen.
No.
He's on the most trusted search engine in the world.
No,
Where
no,
most of the Western world goes.
Okay, no, for movies.
You got to go to the Chinese website.
No,
Do you think that Bing is going to have a higher rating?
Let's go
than
to
Google?
what's the Chinese search engine?
God damn.
I have no
Anyway,
idea.
Yeah, let's
Should we
find-
it.
oi,
Uh,
Jesus.
Do you know what? Adam Sandler is actually Jewish. So
Yes.
what we should do is let's find an Israeli review
Yes.
blog
Uh-huh.
done by one guy who.
Wait, I'm gonna stop
who
this. No.
lives- Hey,
Who's the
just had his
directors are
bar
Jewish.
mitzvah.
The directors are Jewish.
No, well, no, but I mean that's what it sounds like. It's like you're gonna find the best angle for Adam Sandler and use that as the full review. You know, let's move on.
Wait,
I already hate this.
No, I'm saying
No.
he is reading
All
Google
right,
reviews
can
for
I-
a film.
we're
He used
moving
Rotten
on.
Tomatoes for
The film's
movies.
terrible. All right, let's move on.
He paid for film.
I want to
school.
talk about
Whatever.
Everton.
Waste of money.
You know,
That's a new sentence.
I was watching some stuff this weekend on some success, and I was reading some stuff, and I was thinking about Everton because we always think money is the solution to most problems. All right, people think money is the solution to most problems. It's actually not. All right, but having been in business for a while, I've realized, and just reading. If you haven't read the Netflix book, by the way, it's just an incredible journey through starting a business and getting into markets. I mean, it's for the next level, but it's applicable in life if you are an entrepreneur. But there's only really two ways to break monopolies, right? Is number one, get the smartest people. But generally, smartest people are taken in life. They're taken. 99% of the time, if you're really smart in the Western world and you're in big business, you're working at Merrill Lynch. You're at Netflix. You're at Google. The smartest people in the world take. The other easier way is money. Money. It's the shortcut. Money is the shortcut in business. In problem solving, it's not always the solution. It is a shortcut. Right? But the tricky part is this, and we spoke about it a little bit earlier. Sometimes it takes a little bit of walking through James's proverbial door to realize there's a reason why there's the 1% on the planet. You can have your theories, Illuminati, blah, blah, blah. But just come into your real life and you'll realize the people who achieve the highest marks at school, at university, are running the companies you want to work at. Largely, they are. They are. Because they're in good habits. They're the smartest. They've learned to work. They've learned that rules are important. They are. You don't like it? Sorry. And I know everybody's saying, yes, what about Bezos and Netflix? Don't use anomalies as the rule. It's not the median. That's why in stats we have medians. These are important. Don't use one example as the rule. Smart people, generally you can tell, 16, 17, 18. That's why Harvard picks them early. Right? Oxford picks the students early. 16, 17, 18, you kind of know, all right, they're going to the top. Let's get them ready for the big bad world, because ultimately at the end, we need to employ them to come and run Google. And too often, dominance is viewed as a halfway act in life. How many people on Instagram do you know who have pictures of lions and raw, and it's a new week, and they wake up a little early, they don't work out, they don't have a list, they don't have goals written down, but they tell you, I'm working, I want to go to the top. It's absolute nonsense. Most of the world's nonsense. Stick to the 1%. Everton are learning a really, really, really hard lesson. Roman Abramovich did it the right way. That wasn't halfway. That was, I'm coming in, let me get Jose Mourinho. Everton have made this mistake. Let me get Jose Mourinho. Because for all the talent in the world, if it is not managed, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Real Madrid went and put together the most expensive team in the history of football and won one La Liga title. One. Are you aware that Zinedine Zidane has one La Liga title? They had no management. They had no structure. Los Galacticos was a failure. Everton are learning this is if you want to dominate, you cannot care about the outside and you've got to go big, especially when it's money. So let me tell you what's gone wrong at Everton. They went with Ronald Koeman. That ain't going to work. Chelsea went with Jose Mourinho before spending a cent. Listen, people always say, I wish I had $1 million. What would you do with it when you have it? Because most people are going to buy Doritos and a yacht trip and nonsense. Most people are. If you're buying nonsense now, you would buy more nonsense with $1 million. Ronald Koeman didn't have a record of winning. Jose Mourinho had just come off the I'm a Special One season at Porto. That's what Everton should have done immediately. But instead they went and bought all the talent in the world. And it is now a madhouse. Success starts with leadership, not talent. School, company, football club, it's all the same. Learn rules, create structure, and you will be successful. That is it. Create structure, learn rules, and you will win. Always. You may not win immediately, but you will win long term. Everton tried to cheat. They didn't spend proper money, and they went for Ronald Koeman. They did the facade. And you can't cheat the system. You cannot. 5 years, 4 managers. Koeman, Allardyce, Marco Silva, and Carlo Ancelotti. You know what the thing about smart people is? Because eventually they realized, oh my goodness, this is the problem. Carlo Ancelotti got there and realized this is a madhouse. It's a madhouse. There's no structure. You cannot, smart people, there's a reason why they work at HSBC and not at your friend's startup. You can't lie to smart people. 99% of the world is idiots, right? Deal with it. You cannot lie to smart people. You can try, you can get them up front, but they have systems. They have analytical thinking. Eventually, they'll get you. Carlo Ancelotti can't stick around for that. Where's the structure? Where's the culture? And he's off to Real Madrid. And in life, just learn this. And Everton made this mistake. You cannot lie to elite, smart people. You cannot. All the money in the world, folks. I don't care who you are. All the money in the world is not coming to save your problems if you're not organized. If you're a mess with no money, you'll be a mess with lots of money. That's all you'll be. That's all you'll be. And let me give you lastly what I love about Roman Abramovich. It's not because I'm a Chelsea fan. And I loved it about Alex Ferguson. And I absolutely loved it about Arsene Wenger in the beginning. Clarity. You know, in this world that we live in, people like to think, oh, we're in startups and it's so cool and my boss is my friend. I'm not into that. Structure. Without structure, you cannot be successful. You will not be successful. Not everybody is built to deal with stress and deal with cold-blooded decisions. Because most people want to be nice to everyone. Most people do. But to win at the very, very top, you cannot make popular decisions. You have to make the right decision. You have to. And most decisions that are right don't involve people. Because what you need to do actually in life is read the data and not feelings. But most people, most of us, want to be liked and accepted in society. There's a reason why the same people in life keep winning. Is they say, I don't care what you're telling me. Here's what the data's saying. Everton forgot that, and they decided to get talent over structure and leadership. Let me tell you something. You cannot win without clarity. Just remember that for the rest of your life. If you are not clear on who's in charge, what their role is, when they're expected to achieve that by, you're going to be Everton. All the money in the world, but it doesn't matter. Because it has been an absolute mess. And why is Antonio Conte not at Everton right now, if they're serious? I don't care how much he costs. You've seen what the problem is. The problem is that you got incredible players. The players are fine. That's a top 6 squad. But Carlo got there, and I think in the end, probably not invested. It's like, is this what I have to deal with? Who's doing the buying at Everton? Who's making sure that in 2-3 seasons, Everton are going to be where they need? And Carlo said, I'm off to Real Madrid. Thank you very much. Because I know what I'm getting there. Probably the best football structure on planet Earth right now, along with Bayern Munich. Simple. And that's why Harvard kids are known to work at certain banks, at certain investment funds. Oxford kids go and work with certain laboratories. Because they know when they get there that everything's organized. Everything's elite. Everything is clear. It's clear. There's a CEO and everyone else shut the hell up and be at work on time. Everton kind of feels like a startup. Everyone pitch, come when you like and let's have a coffee with the boss. Doesn't work. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for Netflix. Doesn't work for Google. It does not. There is a very, very clear hierarchy at Google. If you haven't read the book, go ahead and read it. Rules are important, people. Everton forgot that. And do not cheat the system. Any hope of Everton doing anything? Since you look like Alex Iwobi.
Wow. And no. I don't know, man. They've got all these players, but like you said, players are nothing without good direction, I feel like. And I don't know, when you like as a United fan, I feel like I've got some interesting perspective on this. You know, we've had talent for years, but if you keep reshuffling the spearhead, I guess, if you keep reshuffling that, you'll eventually have players who fit one person's system, and that, I don't know, things don't mesh well, and then you end up with too much dead weight, and then the club just ends up being a mess. You've created a bigger mess for yourself by not having, like you said, this laid out plan, and I just feel like that's where they're at. You've got all this, you've got so many quality players. For what, though? You've got nothing to show for it. Everybody forgot Everton was, you remember the start of the season?
Yeah.
Everton. Wow. And then Everton now. This is Everton again.
It's so sad.
Right back where they started. Right back.
But it's like all of us in life. Listen, get a plan. I don't think they had a plan. They just like, we're going to spend lots of money. Obviously, we'll win. No, that is the opposite of
that.
That
That definitely looked like their plan. We'll just give you the money, Carlo.
Yeah.
Carlo, he needs money. He'll do his thing.
But it's you got to have a team. Teams win things, especially when you want to win big. Like when Mourinho came, he brought that whole staff with him. Michael Emelano was already there, the great Nigerian football administrator. Like, it was clear. Chelsea were a machine. Peter Kenyon, the great football administrator, Peter Kenyon was stolen from Manchester United with all the money in the world. Roman said, you need to come here.
Wasn't aware of that.
You are the guy, right? I mean, David is the great. Just David Gill is the final level of football administration that British football's ever seen, and I think probably equal to Fergie in terms of losing him and Fergie a season apart. But then there was Peter Kenyon, who was a part of that whole mix. Chelsea, he fueled that Chelsea beginning. He knows European football. He was at Man United.
Yeah.
So he knew what winning took structurally. You know, when you come from Fergie's United, it's very clear. You do not matter. Only Fergie and Manchester United matter. You are not here to express yourself.
Yeah.
You are not here to build your career. You are here to fulfill the mandate.
You've got a role here.
At Everton, it's just vibes at the moment.
Yes. It seems like the cool kids club. We get paid. We play football too.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's James, now you're happy because you support that terrible football club called Everton. Or Liverpool, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
The red side of
So
Merseyside.
across the park. So you're delighted that Everton are just crumbling. Let me ask you this. What makes you happier? The fact that Man United are a shambles at the moment? Or Everton being a shambles?
That's how I was going to answer the question. I think the Merseyside derby is one of the most exciting games in football.
Sure.
But so is Liverpool Man United.
Northwest derby, yeah?
And I think I'm more excited for Liverpool Man United because, like, I grew up in a house where my brother was a Man United fan, so there was more rivalry around that game than there was around the Merseyside derby. I know there is a lot of bad blood between players and managers and staff of both Everton Football Club and Liverpool. So yeah, I'm more excited for Man United, if I'm honest.
But you're living right now because Liverpool, as much as they had a shocking season, but in terms of the last 5 years, you are living because Everton and Man United shambles. Liverpool on the up, loving it.
Just living our best lives, always.
I think
You cannot pair us in with Everton. You cannot do that.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, say again?
You're
You
either
cannot pair us in with Everton.
Listen, by Man
you
United.
can, though.
Okay, but I
Make
see
the case.
at
now.
Man United, you're either winning or you're losing. There is no we came fourth at Man United. Not the
Fair.
United I grew up watching.
Fair.
Alex Ferguson was not interested in second place. I mean, you saw the season before. So Fergie was meant to retire, the story goes, the season before.
Yes.
And then they didn't win the league.
Yeah.
Remember? Aguero!
Can we?
Lol.
And Fergie wasn't going out like that.
Jesus.
Hashtag lols.
And they've won the league. Fergie said, no, not me. Other people go out and I've got 12 English league titles. Not Fergie, because to Fergie it was so revolting to lose. Like to him, and I don't see it at Man United now. It's just when Man United lost to Fergie, you could see in the press conference, this is the worst day on the planet. This is not how it goes. And to me, it's the same thing as Man United. You're either winning, but again, it tells you where Man United are. The fact that they're even in a conversation with Everton and arguing about that whole thing.
We're not in a conversation.
is a
You
shambles.
did that. No. Okay. Where else have you heard somebody pair United and Everton? This is ludicrous.
Any Man United fan who realizes, are you aware that Man United were the last 8 seasons, they've been in the Europa League for 5 seasons. That's as bad as what Everton are doing now for Man United, unless I'm wrong. Because Man United, I think it's difficult because I was an adult when Man United were at their proper peak. It's kind of maybe difficult for you, Karabo, to understand what the level was at Man United when Fergie and Keane was around. It was actually intimidating. It was actually like most of the games were won before. You saw Keane, who's in? Keane, Scholes, Giggs, and Vidic. All right.
It's over before.
No,
it
this
started.
league season's over.
Yeah.
Although if they all fit to the beginning of the year, is Fergie there? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It was a tidal wave.
Word on the street is that Man United's actually the new Fleetwood town. That's what I hear.
Well, guys are saying Nottingham Forest because they've got the history and it's easier to just change the colors. Yeah, they're
okay.
the same colors, so you don't need to worry too much about. Yeah, so very much,
Nice.
very much Nottingham Forest of the
Okay.
modern day.
Nice.
I said on social media, MKT Inspires, they are essentially Nottingham Forest with Taiwanese noodle sponsors, as we famously know. So. It's a tough time. It's a tough time for you. But listen, Karabo, because you're a good guy, you probably think to yourself, good for James. He's a good guy. He's having a good time, or not so much.
Good time how? I don't know. No. I'm like, you're busy saying, oh, if United fans are at this place, I'm like, okay, is a Liverpool fan trying to talk down to me?
Yeah.
When you literally finished beneath us. This is the most, like, what is going on?
That's also true, James.
What is going on? Just wrap your head around that.
You know what the best part about this is?
It's true.
I'm not even bothered to have this Man United Liverpool debate. It's just so much fun triggering Karabo.
So
And I'm disappointed at myself for like falling for this because it's such an obvious setup. It's such a setup. Whatever. Anyway,
who cares?
whatever, man.
Nailed it.
It's a good time. Hey, football will do this to Karabo. You're not alone. Football will do this to us, dude. Football is a cruel mistress. A cruel mistress. All right. You know what? Let's let Karabo take 2 minutes because he's getting a little heated under the collar. We'll take an intermission and, we'll allow his emotions to come back down to earth. And James, before we go to this break, I just want to say on your girlfriend's behalf, it's great that you've managed to fall back in love with her. I think it's such a win for society.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I'd like to thank the Academy.
Oh my God.
I'd like to thank
Here
my
we go.
heart
Yeah.
and my parents for birthing me.
Just give your girlfriend a hug. I mean, what's wrong with you?
Do I look like I'm capable of doing that right now?
All right, fair enough. Will you give her a hug when you get home?
Absolutely.
Because you're fine.
I know I'm fine.
Yeah, okay, I'll see your girlfriend then.
Okay.
All right, James, let's go to a break. It's getting a little heated in here. I was going through stuff. I'm going through stuff now. You're going through stuff. Let's take a break. We're going to come back on the other side. This is the MKT Show. See you in a bit. Water polo as well.
I played water polo, one of the most physically demanding sports.
James, you are one of the least athletic people I know. I've played a chukka, I think it's called, hey? I've played a chukka of water polo. It is the most tiring thing I've ever done. How did you manage that? You are the least athletic person. And by the way, proviso here, James is a great guy. This is not a reflection on your persona. I know some people in sports they think, if you don't love me in sports, you don't love me at all because the personality and their act is combined. So let's separate it for you, James. I love you as a person. You're great. You work hard. But you're one of the least athletic people I've ever met, if not the least athletic person. You played water polo.
I did.
Where?
In the pool.
At school.
At which
In the
school?
pool. At which school?
Yes.
Saints.
What team were you in?
I mean, I wasn't any...
Oh, you just played for fun.
I was in a team. I think I was third or fourth team. though.
No, that's good. Hey, at that institution, that's flipping good. Seriously. You get into... You get into a team actually at those schools, but third and fourth, that's not bad. So yeah, but you were telling me about polo.
Physically, the most draining and demanding sport.
Oh,
I don't care what anyone says.
But
It's insane.
do you ever get hot?
In the pool?
Well, I'm just wondering. I mean, because surely any sport you do, you get hot.
Yeah.
Do you get hot?
In
Not
Poland.
that I can
any
remember.
way.
I don't think so, no.
Then it's not the most
No,
demanding.
it's just I've always wondered.
Yeah.
I
like
mean,
that-
it makes sense that you wouldn't, but like I'm inquisitive mind. You can always learn.
I know what you mean. But listen, you're treading and there's guys pulling you down underwater. That's a good question, Paolo. But Paolo, huh? The MKT Show. We have returned. And it feels good. We intermissioned. We spoke. And things have settled down. It was getting quite a lot. James felt the pressure. Karabo, he got sucked in. He got catfished by James into just it was becoming a dark spiral. I'm glad we took that break, and it feels good to be back with a new energy. James is joining a cult, by the way, so that's another thing.
It's true.
But we'll address that at a separate time. I think, if you're going to address a cult, you probably don't want to do that on a sports show when you got sports stuff to get to. So good luck to James with cults. Ultimately, most cults are disgusting men that want to sleep with women. So I don't know what James is doing there, and I just hope he walks through that door, whatever it means.
You see, this cult is similar to Fight Club. First rule is don't talk about Fight Club. So I can't talk about this cult.
Okay. I mean,
First and second rule.
firstly, I didn't like that movie, but Edward Norton always delivers. He always hits. He always bangs.
No, he doesn't. Hell no.
Yeah. All right. I mean,
Watching-
everyone said it's good, so it is good. Is essentially what
Yes.
Fight Club is. Please.
Did the Google people
There's
say it's
at
good?
least 30 movies I could name right now. But Edward Norton, banger.
I'm on the same page.
Edward Norton
you.
bangs, dude. He's
Not about it, no.
he's a thespian, a classic thespian. But James, shout out to your cult, whatever, dude. However you need to justify it. We all have our things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Some people are disgusting. They'll have pineapple on pizza. Revolting. You're disgusting. We should. Anybody who likes Hawaiian pizza should be buried in a deep hole,
Can we stop
alive.
This is so that point is so overplayed. We've had this literal
It is
discussion.
disgusting, though. Like, I'm not just saying it. I'm going to keep saying it because it's disgusting. It is so disgusting. They should disable your social media if you're caught eating a Hawaiian pizza. It's so gross. Stop putting tropical fruit on food.
Not gonna lie, pineapple on pizza kind of slaps.
We've had this conversation.
It slaps, dude.
We've had this conversation.
James, I know what you're thinking. If I saw somebody burying you alive with sand, right? You're probably thinking, I'd go, oh, what are you doing? That's my producer, James. Stop. Nope. Where can I get another shovel? That man needs to be buried faster, is what I'd do. And you'd be dead. And I'd be like, do you know what I'd do? Straight away, I'd go and have a rare steak and think about what I've just done for society.
Slaps. It's tangy and sweet, but also
All right.
meaty.
No, we're moving on.
vibes.
I hate everything about this. England played football. on the weekend against Croatia.
They did do that.
It was interesting. So I'll give you the lineup. All right, we don't need that music, James. You can kill it. Pickford.
The lineup is actually part of the graphic, as far as I know.
Oh, really?
Um,
Do you have something going there?
yes.
All right, let's put that up. Big producing by James. Pickford, Walker, Stones, Mings, Trippier, Phillips, Rice, Mount, Foden, Kane, and Sterling. And there's a reason I said it like that, right? Is 4 at the back, Phillips and Rice holding. Really 6 at the back, because Phillips and Rice did nothing the whole game. I mean, Phillips got the assist, but ultimately they sat in front of the back 4. They played 6 at the back against an old Croatia team. Like, really what England should have done is beaten them 3 or 4. Like, really just going, why are you playing 2 holding mids against Croatia? They were nowhere. They were dead. It was ridiculous. But the interesting part for me is Mount, Foden, Kane, and Sterling. Other than the goal, all 4 of those guys were invisible. That's the strongest part of your team as far as I'm concerned. But before we get into it, Henderson, Maguire, and Rice are clearly all not fit.
That's Henderson MBE to you.
Who cares?
It's the Marcus Rashford Award. It's not a participation award. There's none of that. This is not Montessori. It's not Crawford. We're talking about real stuff here. This is real. Henderson, Maguire, Rice. They're all injured. Rice clearly isn't fit. Like, I know people love him. I'm not in love with him. But he didn't deliver yesterday. He was invisible to me. Why do you have 3 people that are not fit in your squad when you've got James Ward-Prowse to pick? It makes no sense to me. Yesterday, the midfield was absolutely dead. Rice was awful. He was absolute. And you know how I know he was awful? Phillips didn't do anything special yesterday. He just played okay. And he made him look like Prime Perlo. So that was weird. Ward-Prowse was needed. Because here's the problem with that midfield. They can't pass. Neither Rice or Phillips can distribute the ball. So what it means is that Mason Mount needs to come fetch the ball now. And I told you earlier, Mason Mount at Chelsea, when was he released? When Jorginho, Kovacic, Conte are able to get him the ball and he's in the half space. You take the ball in what they call the half turn. That's where Mason Mount, brilliant for that goal to Havertz, that's the perfect thing he wants to do. He wants to play on the half turn and make it happen. He's got great pace, superb technique, and we saw the pass in the Champions League final, right? But now you're forcing him to come into the midfield. You know why? Because he knows Phillips and Rice is his best mate. But he knows those guys can't pass the ball. They don't have a passing range. They're both what we call a destroyer. So what you're saying now is that in order for your attack to do their thing, they've got to drop 10 meters deeper. And you saw Harry Kane in the end was coming into his own half to get the ball. Against Croatia. Weird. The other weird one was Luke Shaw's been the best left back in world football this previous season, whether you like him or not.
Thank you.
Right? I think I like Robertson. I love Robertson. In fact, I think he is top of the pops at the moment since Marcelo has fallen off a cliff. Robertson's a better player. He's delivered for 5 seasons. But take this season, Luke Shaw's been unplayable. Right? Unplayable. The other guy in your squad just won a little something called the Champions League with the performance of a lifetime, by the way, in the last 4 or 5 games, called Chilwell. How are you not playing either of those guys at left back? And I'll tell you what it says. I haven't heard the reasons, and maybe Gareth Southgate has given those. But if it's for Trippier's set pieces, pick Ward-Prowse then. It doesn't make sense. Ward-Prowse is the best set piece taker. He's in the upper echelons in the Premier League. Right? There's probably 3 or 4 who you'd take. He's certainly in that conversation. If it's about that, plus you need a midfielder who can pass. But you've got... I still don't understand having Henderson, Maguire, and Rice in your squad. By the way, Declan Rice can play centre-back. So you don't need Ben White as a spare centre-back. Kyle Walker can play centre-back. Reece James can play centre-back. So you've already got a backup centre-back because now you've shown me I'm playing 4 at the back. So you don't need a spare centre-back when you've got 3 spare ones already sitting on the bench. You don't need Ben White. He doesn't give you anything. Jesse Lingard, or you go James Ward-Prowse, just to change the dimension. I don't understand what's happening with Gareth Southgate. Okay, that's just some of the stuff I don't get. The problem with not having a genuine left footer, and you saw the problem, everything went narrow. And what it did was it killed your best player. Because Mason Mount was the best quality player on the field for England, right? But you clogged up the middle now. You know why? Because Raheem Sterling wants to cut inside. Foden wants to come inside because the left foot, Foden's not a natural winger, right? He really wants to be a number 10. He wants to control things, get the ball to feet, dribble, and you saw with that magnificent curling shot what he wants to do. But he wants to drift inside naturally to his stronger side. Now you nullify your golden boy, Mason Mount. Because what does Mount want to do? He wants to Lampard style drive late into the box for that late finish. But he couldn't. He was invisible the whole game. And what made that even worse was your talisman is Harry Kane, right? Kyle Walker can't get to the byline and deliver. It's not his game. He's got the pace and athleticism to cover and just make sure that the right side is locked down. But now with Trippier, you're getting even narrower, and he can't hit the byline. So you're saying to Harry Kane was, the only service you're going to get is to your feet, right? Brozovic played in the middle in front of his back four. There was nothing there for Harry Kane. And even then, what do we know about Harry Kane? He wants the ball in the box. So you're not delivering from wide. You got Luke Shaw and Chilwell, two of the best crosses of the football in the league, in the English league, certainly in England. And now you're saying we're not going to go wide. Raheem Sterling's been in awful form this season. Besides the goal, he was terrible. He was terrible. Raheem Sterling has been terrible this season. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Phil Foden replaced him. It made no sense to me. No flair. Harry Kane nullifying your own player. It was so conservative as well. So I don't get it, man. James, it's not coming home.
This is what I've been saying, bro.
It's not coming home.
When we started the initial Euro talk and Euro build-up stuff, dude, the squad is just...
Tell me this. When do you think Gareth Southgate decided that he's going to play 4 at the back? Do you think he decided like a night before the game? Or do you think before the tournament he already kind of knew, I'm going to play 4 at the back?
I think Croatia is an interesting case. And hear me out, because I'm not saying that his decisions thus far have been any good, because all of them have been rather questionable.
Interesting.
But if you, and I just removed the graphic, I'm an idiot. I apologize. If you look at the graphic, which will be up shortly again, Croatia's sort of setup in terms of their midfield and their defense, both of them are very well controlled by key players. Yeah, it's just come up. Look at that. Look at that timing, huh? Both the midfield and the defense are very well controlled by key players in the Croatian squad. Vida, very good at controlling that defense.
Mm-hmm.
The Croatian defense is very, very disciplined because of him. And then, I mean, the midfield is just like Kovacic, Modric, Perisic.
Bunch of itches.
All of the itches.
Yeah.
Even Rebic has his moments.
Super player.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
aging.
That is the thing. The Croatian squad is a difficult opponent in the sense that it's a very technical squad, very experienced at this stage. Maybe the next tournament they won't have such an experienced squad, but that's why I just think the Croatian game was almost an anomaly, and I'm really hoping that he goes out against another. I can't remember who's in the group now.
Who's in there? Czech Republic? No?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are they in that group?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Czech Republic, and who's the other one?
I'm not
Anyway.
sure.
Yeah, I'm just really hoping he goes out in another game and actually puts out a squad where he's not scared to put out a squad.
But he is who he is. We are who we are in life. He's a conservative person. He's not changing. He's not going to change. People don't change. And especially if you want to see who people are, put them under emotional pressure. Because then you see what their default programming is. He is under the most immense pressure now. Like, could you imagine they lost that game? And he reverted to conservative, to holding mids. Why is Trippier on?
That's where most of the irritation comes in. You've got a youthful England side at the moment, not just the squad you've selected, but a lot of the players that are coming through now in the top clubs and even in the lower clubs, they are sort of younger players. They've been through the system, they've been through the academy, and now they are ready to play for their country or whatever. But a lot of these players in this new age football, it's very, very sort of finesse and creative. And, you're not just a right mid, you're a right wing back, you're a right wing, you're you're a centre mid, you're a defence, you're everything. So I think Gareth Southgate's very much stuck in his, like, we got to have the pros. Not that half of the squad are pros.
You know what the issue is? What's he doing in the job? Because he got Middlesbrough relegated. Nothing's ever worked in his career. What is he doing in the most highly acclaimed? Yeah, I'd say it's probably the most highly acclaimed job in football as a manager. You are the England manager at Wembley. You had Fabio Capello at a stage.
You know what I think they're doing?
I don't know.
They're just using him as a hot seat protector so that they don't have to interview Roy Hodgson.
No, bring Roy. Listen, the honest fact is this, right? And I've said this before. He's perfect for the FA. Yes, no, says the perfect thing. And Gareth Southgate at every club he's been at, captain, England captain, leader. He's perfect for the corporate image. And you know my feeling. I hate pen pushers. You're supposed to get people like Gareth Southgate out the way. You know what he's supposed to do? He's supposed to be the head of youth development. Because you want somebody who's square, rules, the admin, it's filled out. You want to square in admin.
Yeah.
That's exactly who you
For
want.
sure.
In management, think of the guys who win. Capello, Arrigo Sacchi, Mourinho, Fergie. Those are dynamic people. Wenger at the beginning. You got to be dynamic. You got to have a little, Pep is nasty. You've seen the documentary.
Yeah.
Garabo hates Amazon Prime, so you might have seen it. Just hates Jeff Bezos.
I didn't see the City one. I saw the Spurs one. I just thought that was bad.
Yeah. All right. So, but my point is, look at the managers who win. Klopp, right? Is you got to have a little. I don't mean to participate. I mean, when you go to the very, very top, you got to have a bit of chutzpah. You've got to have. There has to be some fear in the players. It's the only way you win. Because these are spoiled. The thing about spoiled brats, right, which is what footballers are. Let me just tell you right now. They are a bunch of spoiled brats who are extremely talented. Who wouldn't want to be nice to footballers, right? They're cool. They're the guys. Mourinho doesn't want to be nice. I don't care. What you talking about? I coached Ronaldo and I've won trebles. Get here on time. That's why Tottenham couldn't handle him. You know what I mean? Mourinho wants to win. Conte. If you look at the guys who win, they have one thing in, they're bastards. You can't be Gareth Southgate and win. Name one manager where it's just nicey and we all get along and win. Klopp's a nightmare. He's a nightmare for young, egotistical players. A nightmare. Mamadou Sakho arrived late once in preseason training. Gone.
Enjoy Crystal Palace,
No,
buddy.
but that's what you need.
Yeah.
You can't have Gareth Southgate, Gareth Southgate is awesome for a corporate figure. You're not going to win like that. I urge anybody at home, anybody, even Claudio Ranieri, by the way, known to be extremely demanding and difficult. I urge you to go and look in the last 20 years who has won at the top, and they all have something in common. They have a bit of bastard in them.
You have to.
You need it.
I also think it's a play against the opposition kind of thing. So if Villarreal were to go up against that Inter squad that won trophies with Jose Mourinho, I think the Villarreal players themselves would have a little bit more sort of nerves about the game.
Yeah.
And because they know who Jose Mourinho is.
Exactly.
They know how he treats his players. They know, everything that happens behind the scenes. I think with Gareth Southgate, I don't think many people know. I think it's all just this, like, everything's behind closed doors, and even the opposition aren't aware of who they're facing. Like, oh, we know we're facing a couple of the best players in the world in certain positions, but doesn't make them any good. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a bit of a stretch.
I totally agree with you, because it's like real life, right? I was talking to somebody who went to a boys' school the other day, and we were chatting about exactly what you're saying, and I couldn't agree more with you, James. You know, whenever I try and explain to people about going to boys' schools, it's bred into you. And whether you know it or not, that you are, not only are you better than everybody else, but you deserve everything you get. And that changes you as a person. And it's why when we come to real life, people hate people from private schools because they carry themselves a certain way.
Yeah.
Right? When you're with Jose Mourinho, and I don't care what sphere of life you're in, when you're around people that you know have that thing, just think of your own personal life. Whether it's your girlfriend, your mom, it might be somebody who you admire the characteristic of leadership, and you think, oh wow, that person's always so calm when things fall apart. You know, there's some within all of your friends who you both love, I'm sure, is that there's 2 or 3 people you really want to be around.
Yeah.
It feels good to be with them at a restaurant because they carry themselves a certain way. That affects how you are perceived, right? And when Mourinho walks out, when Fergie walked out with his troops, you could see something's different here.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing in leadership and coaching, is that you're going to set the tone. Nobody's scared of Sarah Gareth Southgate.
No. It's like the meme I sent you where he's standing on the side of the field and he's like drawing on his notepad during the game.
Doodling.
And it shows what he's actually drawing, and it says Southgate with a fancy S.
I saw that. I saw that.
Listen, ultimately, I think we need to be clear. In life, you cannot win if you're not intimidating people. And
Sure.
Intimidation's a part of winning. It just is. I know we live in a nicey time and everyone must hug each other. Fine, do that at your Curo and Montessori schools, please.
And I think it's huge in football. Like
in life.
those Villarreal players that went up against that Man United squad. I'm not doing this to wind you up.
No, but it works. It completely works.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they went into that fixture knowing they're facing a Manchester United squad that's been struggling for 5 years, that's under management by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's
Who doesn't scare. He wouldn't scare cricket.
Exactly. So I think it's very much a media thing and a mental thing in football.
Yeah, it's tough. So, I don't know. So what are you saying, Garabo? Not coming home? Coming home?
No, not at all.
Wasn't it weird, dude? Like,
What?
you got Sancho.
Yeah, that lineup. I was speaking to my mates about it before the game. We were all so puzzled by that lineup. It's just,
Why is Luke Shaw not on the field?
yes, everybody was thinking, Shaw, Chilwell, where are you? Sancho, where are you? Why is Sterling starting? Same thing. Everybody was having the same train of thought. My thing is, if so many, I don't know, just regular football watchers can have this general consensus, why, like, what's going on in his head? I just want to know.
I don't know.
I just want to know.
So I thought some reports came out to say Chilwell was injured, but it's coming out that he wasn't.
No?
He left Sancho and Chilwell out of the squad.
Yeah.
So not even in the match day squad. Remember, I think it's 3 players that'll be out. You can only
Yeah.
pick 23.
By the way, why do you have like a 26-man squad, but you can only pick 23? Do they just chill at the hotel? What happens?
No, I think it's for precautions with
Yeah,
COVID.
rotation.
Well, no, the COVID, because if somebody,
Yeah.
you want to have those guys in and around the bubble already. Because now, you're seeing it, I think, with Portugal now. They got a nightmare.
Yeah.
Cancelo got COVID. Now they've got to bring Dallo. He's coming from an outside bubble.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They wanted to kind of... But okay, that aside, you've got the premier European... I would say Chilwell in the last 6 weeks of the season was top 3 left backs in Europe.
Yes.
Shaw was most certainly the best in Europe this season at left back. That is not a conversation.
Absolutely.
So you've got both, and both are brilliant at delivering the ball.
Yeah.
So now Harry Kane's waiting in the middle for what now? Because Trippier has to cut inside, and now the defenders know that. So I didn't see a single cross from Trippier in the whole game. Or Kyle Walker.
It's so confusing. When you play a target man like Harry Kane, it is footballing 101. All they need is service. A Kane, a Lukaku, they need service. Damn it. I don't know what he's not seeing.
You know what's weird, and you've said it, Garabo, you've nailed it, is not only now Phillips and Rice can't pass the ball, so you're not going to find Harry Kane's runs, let's say, over the top, because those guys, that is not in their skill set. Neither of them are Pirlo. But now you're nullifying wide right. It's not Phil Foden's fault that he's left-footed, and he's not a winger. And by the way, on the other side, Raheem Sterling isn't a get-to-the-byline classic winger.
No.
He's always been, even on the right, he likes to come inside and interact with the forward, right? Play it into his feet and make something happen. You've got Sancho, you've got Luke Shaw, you've got Chilwell that are going to get to the byline. And you'd have to say, I think on current form, it's between Kane and Mason Mount in terms of the best players. So your two best players are their highest quality is arriving late in the box. Mason Mount arrives late in the box and shoots, and Harry Kane, well, we know what he does. You deliver anything in that from the penalty spot, between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box, you know what Harry Kane's doing.
Exactly.
He's getting it down on his chest, and let's put the ball on the center spot.
I can only recall him having that one opportunity the whole game.
And even then, that was like, in fact, there we go. What did Mason Mount do? Hit the byline, whipped it in. Harry Kane on the end of it. That's exactly what the template should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And like, even if you're picking this lineup, when you see something like that at halftime, something in your brain should be going like, this worked.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Did I have a brain for picking this lineup? Okay, let me do something about it. But no.
And does he? So, James, you know what I've been saying about Grealish. I told you his corporate image is going to hurt him. I told you this. And I had some people messaging me, no, he's the best player. And, I said, I can see what kind of guy Gareth Southgate is. That was a piss take, though, to be bringing Rashford on, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got Grealish on the... Grealish, dude. Did he not watch the football?
It's just it's disrespectful even.
I told you, and we're not the only ones that think this. Rashford was trending on Twitter because he was brought on, and a majority of the complaints were either about him feeding the kids or the fact that Grealish is being brought on. I mean, Grealish is still benched and not Rashford.
Tell me this. What on God's green earth is Jack Grealish thinking when you've already got two defensive mids on the field, right? And then you bring a 17-year-old on in Bellingham.
Yes.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's the moment Jack Grealish checked out.
Yeah, he was like, maybe I want a new Audi or something.
Yeah, no, maybe I'm going to the casino tonight. And completely understandable. Like, you brought a 17. I'm here. You've already got two holding mids on the field. Even if we're protecting the lead, take another one of the attackers off. And you know what? The nice thing about Jack Grealish is give him the ball at his feet. If you want to run the clock down, he's the perfect guy. Because he's definitely, give me the ball. Don't even worry about the other guys. 3 guys are going to come and tackle me. I'll dribble all of them. And if they don't, what are they going to have to do?
Foul me. Yep.
So he must be incandescent. I would be so furious. And I don't always side with Jack, with Grealish for his off-the-field stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But come on.
Lulama says Gareth Southgate is the Cyril of coaching.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. This whole thing is making me think about the greater problem with international football, in my opinion at least. Wouldn't it be so much better if, like, you didn't have these managers that were exclusively national team managers? And I understand that is a ridiculous workload.
Yeah.
But, like if you could have Pep Guardiola's Spain.
Oh, no.
Like, that'll be a night. That'll be
the cheat code.
There'd be too much like favoritism amongst players. Like the Spain squad.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. It almost feels like he's out of touch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
100%.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't watch this past season at all.
It's almost like he was, how bears like hibernate for anywhere between 3 and 7 months, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like he was a bear for the season. It's almost like Gareth Southgate has been living in the frozen tundra, somewhere beneath the frozen tundra, and he's never heard of the internet. And then he emerged now, and at the last minute, someone told him, oh, by the way, you're the England manager, and you have to pick 26 guys to do this thing called the Euros.
Yeah.
How are you not playing Luke Shaw? Like Luke Shaw would be the best player in the back four if we just take this season. Like, nobody in England, of the English players, has been... He wasn't just the best in England. He was the best in the world this year. I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot... He's got that McDonald's body, which he managed to
alone.
move like Usain Bolt. So you cannot move Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
And he's a tremendous athlete. His delivery at the byline, he's got great pace. So
He's a package.
He's the deal, dude.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. It's not like, so if he'd just moved Trippier to right back, you still get the set piece excuse or whatever, and then you've got the best defender in England this season, right? Or English defender, certainly for me. Of the English contingent, he's been the best, right?
Easily.
He's the only England defender who was world class this season. There's not a single. Maguire was trash, right? You had to protect him with. I mean, I didn't want to get into it, but Luke Shaw had it on lock, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you losing with Luke Shaw? His defending was incredible this season, so he's showing you I can play that, and then he can deliver the ball from the byline.
I really don't understand it. Like, even if you were to just go on FIFA and just steal that lineup, sure, starting, I don't get it. I'm really trying to understand his train of thought.
It's puzzling stuff.
To be
James,
fair.
it's as puzzling as probably your girlfriend wondering why, when you were fine, she couldn't come to your house. Do you know what I mean? I just want to use an analogy you'd
Absolutely,
understand.
yeah, for sure,
It's puzzling.
for sure.
This guy's been fine for 2 weeks and I couldn't come and visit him. Claims to love me. It's that puzzling. It's the what? Gareth Southgate is the what? The Cyril.
The Cyril of coaching.
Jeez.
Although I will say,
Who said that? Sorry.
Lulama.
Okay, he's got no respect for anybody. He
Yeah.
needs to go and I don't believe in church and prayer, but he needs to go and see his local pastor and pray. The Cyril of coaching.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Incredible. You know what? I want to finish it on that note. James, you got something in social media for us?
I
before we
do.
go?
Just one thing. One small thing.
Do you know what that sounds like? It sounds like, remember when you were about 13, between 13 and 15,
Yes.
and your mom comes home like on a Sunday morning,
Yes.
and it's like 9 o'clock, you're just eating breakfast, you're up, you're probably thinking PlayStation Sunday, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she says, I just need this one small thing. And it turns from just raking the leaves to, while you're at it, scrape the pool to, do you know what I'm talking about? You ever had this? Your mom ever done this to you, James? You think back to when she got, I just need this one thing. And before you know it, you're on the roof removing leaves at 4 in the afternoon and you start at like 9.
So this is like 5 lines of sentences.
Okay, let's hear it.
I do think it might spark a debate. So should I save it for tomorrow?
No, let's hear it.
No?
I want to hear it immediately.
Alrighty. So it is a small thing.
Sure. I mean, the fact that you're building it up.
Peter Schmeichel has come out and said that the Danish players did not have a choice over whether to play.
Mm-hmm.
UEFA had apparently threatened them with a 3-0 forfeit if they refused to continue.
Uh-huh.
That's it. That's the thing.
You know what? In moments of crisis, there's a reason. I don't know if you know this. Surgeons can't operate on their own family. Is in moments, I don't know if you knew that or not, but there's a reason for that. In that moment, you need to take the decision-making away from Denmark because they are not going to make a reasonable decision. They are not in a mental state to make the best decision. The right decision is to play. It was completely the right decision. At some point, we have to let you need adults in a room to go, is he fine? Yes. It's not about Denmark. The Euros is not about Denmark. It is not about, as much as we want to be empathetic to Christian Eriksen and the Danish team, and it was a horrible situation, you need adults in a room sometimes, especially traumatized people must never be, and the person who suffers the trauma and those closest to him, you always want to remove them. There's a reason why. I mean, surgeons cannot perform legally surgery on their own family members. It happens. It does happen, but legally it is actually not allowed, and there's a multitude of reasons there. It's the right call, dude. Like, ultimately, it's not about Denmark. Euros is far bigger than Denmark. The situation, it doesn't mean the situation's less horrible. Do you know what I mean? It was still an absolutely awful situation. But as with life, the show must go on. It needs to be insensitive. It's cold. Also, do you know what makes it even more brutal? There are people paying for that game.
yes,
They're called sponsors. The show must go on. There is a bigger thing at play. And obviously the social media justice warriors are going to say it has to be zero sum. It doesn't make UEFA monsters for carrying on. The options aren't you are a monster by playing or you stop. There's middle ground, which is why you need adults in the room that aren't Denmark. So for me, completely the correct decision. Completely the correct decision. In fact, I messaged you, James. I mean, in the group, I was messaging. I said, if he's fine, they must play it. And I said that immediately. Because it's life. The show must go on.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he means no malice by saying that at all. Yeah,
But what is Peter Schmeichel suggesting? That he feels that they shouldn't have played? Or is he saying UEFA kind of put them in a bind?
I think he's coming out as almost like a victim thing. Like, we've had a player that's almost died and they still want us to play a full football game. Half of our players aren't here mentally because they've just watched
A guy die. He was dead for 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. They've just watched one of their best friend's eyes roll back into their head.
Yeah. No, if he is saying that, again, good reason why you don't let the Danish players make that decision, right?
Fair enough.
Is that they're not in a place to make an adult, grown-up decision. The grown-up decision is Christian Eriksen's fine. And also, this is where in life, people lose people all the time. And this is, again, it's a bit of a spoiled brat mentality from Peter Schmeichel because footballers don't live in reality. People lose people all the time in ordinary life. HSBC do not care. Be at work. This happens all the time. Please, let's not think it's special to the Danish players. It's in life all the time. People are losing people in their personal lives all the time. Do you think investment banks care? Be at work. So it's not unique what UEFA did. It happens every single day. People lose mothers, fathers. And you know what bosses say? You know what investors say? I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. So let's not get emotionally wrapped up. This is how the world works. It's just that Christian Eriksen's famous now. People need to behave differently. That ain't how it works, especially with billionaires. What do you think? Like, who's some of the sponsors?
At Euros?
Yeah.
TikTok.
Okay, so let's use them. What do you think? The TikTok guys are going, do you know what? That 100 million euros we've paid for this tournament. How do you think how do you think that phone call goes when you cancel the game? We'd like 20 million back, thank you. Because we didn't get the visual exposure. Like, that's what's happening, right? And it's not just about being cruel to Denmark. It's how life works. And millionaires must not think they are better than the rest of us, right? In the normal world, the Christian Eriksen situation happens every day. I don't know a single company who would have stopped it. I don't know, certainly not the premium ones. If you, yuppie trust fund startup kid, cool. HSBC are expecting... What do you think? The CEO of HSBC has never lost a loved one. Is he going to not pitch up for work the next day? Of course not. It's unthinkable. So it sounds brutal, but for me, absolutely the right decision. And, you know, I can understand Peter Schmeichel from an emotional point of view. I can. But, all right. No, that's a good one. You want to do some comments, and then we'll finish off and...
There aren't an awful lot of them, but I can. Lee Cat says, hey.
Good stuff. Don't like cats, so...
How do you say that name?
Give it a whirl.
I don't want to.
No, give it a whirl.
Is it Kawe?
It's close. It's good.
What is it?
Kawe, it's correct.
Nailed it. Good show,
It means
fellas.
warrior.
You know, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Kawe is a warrior.
Kute says the Sharks are missing decent backup props. The Bulls dominant at scrum time, getting pins. Warner is slotting it in. The Sharks also need 6 that can fetch. Sia rarely does that.
Sia never been a fetcher. Always more of a utility securer of the ball. Nice when you've got bullies and he's playing for the Springboks because usually front football. I couldn't agree with you more. Rugby's still the very same. You still win it in the trenches, and Sia doesn't look like he looked behind a Bok sort of front six, right? When you're talking about Vermeulen, Peter Steff, and of those locks and the Beast and those guys, the Spicy Plum carrying the ball, constantly playing on the front foot. It looks very different for Sia Kolisi. He's being exposed a little bit as a player, but okay, let's move on. Everybody loves Sia's the second coming of Jesus, so you can't really say anything against him.
It's true.
But I agree with you. Sia Kolisi.
Kutle also says decisions let him down, going for the line out instead of shot at goal to the game to tie the game with a 1 minute to halftime.
Treat it like a test match. I agree. Good point.
Kutle also says Marriage Story is a good movie about a couple getting intense scenes, great acting and writing.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
Marriage
it's true
Story-
now. It's one good review, and Kara was like, yeah, I told you guys.
Yeah, best
No,
movie
no.
ever.
What I was gonna say is, the name Marriage Story is like it's a movie about divorce. Like the whole thing. It's
Is
like
it Apatow or who's directing it?
Judd Apatow? Oh no, it's Noah Baumbach.
How could you assume it's
No.
Judd Apatow?
No. I'm like, yeah, Judd Apatow does comedies.
He does.
No, but he does do those long, awkward scenes. If you remember, so part of his directing thing is if you watch Apatow films, they do those long drawn out scenes where the emotion plays out on screen.
Yeah.
So when he said that, and I'd imagine they've got these long drawn out scenes where they let the visuals and the silence do the talking.
Yes, no, yeah, that's very much the case, but it's couldn't be further away from like a Judd Apatow movie.
So is it the best movie ever now that Gushe
No.
agrees with you?
No. I'm just happy. Well, I'm happy they enjoyed it at least.
No, that's good. And I'm glad you're enjoying it, Karabo. There's something for everyone.
I might watch it again today, now that I mentioned it. I've seen it 4 times. Great movie.
No, cool. What else we got there, Jimbo?
Zapeta says, England don't set out a team to impose what they can do and their strengths. They set up their team to nullify the opposition and then grab the odd goal. Not that wrong.
No, it's a great point. But again, think of Gareth Southgate. Again, he's a pen pusher. That's what pen pushers do. Rules, office, tick the box. Hey, did you tick form 304.6? Gareth Southgate should be running football administration somewhere in the FA. He's perfect. He's not the guy at halftime. Honestly, if you are Mason Mount, you've had to deal with Thomas Tuchel because you've seen Tuchel is off the radar, right? He's mental. How are you looking at Gareth Southgate and what scares you there? Because, the line of when you get to an elite level, what scares a millionaire? What's going to scare Jack Grealish? I'm a millionaire. I'm the big boy in Birmingham. There's no consequences in these brats' lives, and they are. But when Mourinho walks in the room, Paul Pogba doesn't work, right? Because there's consequences now. Very rarely are these millionaires going to get consequence. When Gareth Southgate walks in there, he feels more like a big brother. This is why it didn't work with Fabio Capello as well. Because he's not tolerating Rio Ferdinand, thinking he's big time. What are you talking about, pal? You heard of a guy called Johan Cruyff? Coached him. You heard of him? Franco Baresi. Yeah, I managed him back in the day. So, Rio Ferdinand, you're not impressive to me. But it's a problem, especially this new age of player. You said it earlier. It's a different vibe, right? Yeah. It's why Mourinho is struggling. Is these guys? It's different now, and winning is about consequences ultimately. It's why Pep Guardiola, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, get the hell out of here. At his peak, get the hell out of here. You think you're going to drive your Ferrari here at Barcelona? Get the hell out of here. Jose Mourinho, he'll cut you. He will like that as well. Get the hell out of here. Gareth Southgate feels like he's going to have a drum circle for the whole team.
No, we didn't get around to speaking about that game last night, the Dutch game.
Yeah. Well,
that's a real shame.
It is a crying shame, as they might say in Holland.
Oh, gosh.
Anything else?
Zapeta says, Mbalelo, how are you not a marriage counsellor? Because the relationship advice on the show is top-notch. The emotional stress thing, James could learn from you.
That's, let's finish off on that note. And I couldn't agree more. James, if you just opened yourself up, you could learn so much from me. And I think it's a wonderful it's a wonderful message for the world. I feel like the world could learn from me. But James, you got to start where you are, and you're welcome, James.
Did you see how I was reading that with all the emotion in my entire body?
Yeah. Really
James,
gave it your all.
Again, you know what? I'm not saying it. Just like Karabo, all I need is one confirmation. And Karabo, great to have you here, pal.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. You look good. You look friggin' handsome. Chiseled jawline.
Thank you.
Alex Iwobi here. Love to see you, bro. James, you can give us some outro music there. Because quite frankly, today has been a great day. It's good to be back.
It is.
It's great to be back.
Yeah.
Great to see you guys. James, glad you don't have COVID. Couldn't be happier that you and your girlfriend are going to... Do you cook for your lady, or does she cook for you?
We take turns.
Okay, but today you should cook because you avoided her for 2 weeks and it's very annoying.
You owe her 2 weeks of meals.
I couldn't agree more. So to James's lady, and I don't want you doing Woolworths prepared meals rubbish, James. I want you to get in there, a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of something from the heart. You know what I'm saying, Jimbo?
Sure.
Good to see you, pal. All right. For today, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a sports show. Very informative. Movies. Karabo telling us this movie, that movie. James, do not listen to his love advice. Doesn't want to see his girlfriend. But good guy, ultimately. And today, James is going to go and have a haircut because he's got super locks. But I don't know what's going on at the moment. It might be the conditioning. It might be too long. I don't know. Stay tuned tomorrow, though. We'll find out. Let's see if James actually cares about the people around him. He's embarrassing his mother. He's embarrassing his girlfriend. And ultimately, I think it is just wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is MKT. James has a lot to learn from me. But for today, let's wrap it up and say we are the hell out of here.